Hello and welcome into everybody tuning in on the YouTube stream. I really appreciate you for being here, y'all. We are going to go ahead and hop straight into the debates. In fact, we already have our first Trump supporter of the day up on the live. Their name is Mr. Face, and they're a little bit outrageous. Mr. Face, I would really appreciate it if you didn't turn your webcam back on so we don't see a shirtless man. That'd be very appreciated. I guess we see it even when your camera's off because a shirtless man is also your profile picture. Quite cringe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But anyways, tell us why you support Trump.
So I support Trump. I actually have a hit on my head right now by the MS-13 and the Mexican Mafia because of I was a victim of a human sacrifice. To join MS-13, you have to kill a close relative of your family member.
Yeah, you're a high schooler. Get out of here.
I'm serious.
No, you're a high schooler. You're a high schooler. We're gonna go to move on to the next guest. We're like I remember like a shit ton of people saying shit like that. Like I remember like freshman, sophomore year of high school, people would say shit like that. I just remember that. I just remember that. God, okay. We're gonna go to move on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. All right, everybody, we're going to go to get the next guest up here. So for everyone tuning in on the YouTube stream, a little bit of a false start there. No clue what that was.
Hello?
Hi, Demon. How old are you?
I am 18.
Nice. What year were you born in?
2006.
2006. Okay. Do you support Trump?
Actually, I came up here because I was wondering if you would be able to debate my mom.
Is your mom with you?
Currently, no, but, my birthday.
Re-request when your mother's with you, and I'll happily let you up. We're going to go to move on to the next guest. Everyone, if you are in that queue, make sure that you do support the current administration. But Demon, do re-request when your mom is with you, and I'd happily debate her. I'd happily debate her. Oh, what is going on, Jay? Do you support Trump?
I would like real food.
Jay, you're on the
I
live.
don't know what that would be.
All right. Jay's not here, and it does say liberal in their bio, so we are going to go to move on to the next guest. What is going on with the guest today? That guy said something about having a hit on him from Emma. I don't even know. Moving on. What's going on, Take? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
All right. Why is that, man?
Well, I'm a migrant myself, and I moved to the U.S. when I was 3 years old. So I understand the whole struggle and the whole you got to work for it to be successful here in America.
Yeah, me too.
And growing up, it's been hard.
Hey, stop!
Excuse me.
Stop!
Man, if you got to take care of your kid, no harm, no foul. I don't mind just getting another guest up here. Oh, yeah, they did left. They did leave. No worries at all. No worries at all. Dude has to take care of his kid. I understand. We're going to go and get the next guest up in the box, y'all. We got the next guest loading in right now. Everyone do just kind of give us a minute, y'all. Let's get that next guest in here. What's going on, Joe? Do you support Trump?
No, I can't. I bumped up here accidentally. I just wanted to say we love you, bro.
Dude, you're awesome, Joe. I love you too, man. Love you too. Let's go and get that next guest glow up in the live. If you are watching over on TikTok, if you're one of the 5,000 people in the room and you are MAGA and you support the current administration, you want to come up here and have a chat with me, just go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that comment section. We'll get you up here. We are only looking to have some conversations with people that do support the current administration. That Mr. Face figure is
What's up,
not going to
Dean?
do. What's going on? Howdy.
How you doing today? Hey, what's up?
21 Sweet. Do you support Trump?
I don't like to follow that kind of stuff, but you can just.
I'm kicking you then, bro. Sorry, that is just like possibly the worst start that anybody could have on this stream. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the worst starts that anybody could have on this stream, like ever. Okay, guys, that Mr. Face guy's asked to come back up saying that we're going to be real, have a debate. We're going to go and leave it up to Democratic vote. Should we bring Mr. Face back up under the condition that he actually talks to us about why he supports the administration, or should we leave him in history? What do you guys think? Let me know down below. No, you guys don't want to hear from him. Well, it looks like the mob has spoken. In fact, I think I only see one person in the chat. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
What's going on, Sander? Are you MAGA?
Can you hit the vape pen? Can you do a ghost?
Hello?
Get out of here. What's going on, David? Are you MAGA?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. Why do you support the worst president of your life, Donald J. Trump?
Man, I gotta say, the best thing I could possibly say about supporting Donald J. Trump is about only because under Donald J. Trump, my pay and my economy has been great and nothing but great. Why wouldn't I have them?
Your economy?
That's what I said, right?
Your economy. What do you mean by that?
I mean, I'm able to get groceries under cheaper. I mean, it's just better. Why wouldn't I? Come on.
Okay, so you're saying you're paying less for goods
100%.
already?
Right.
Okay, what has Trump done to make you pay less for goods?
I mean, you tell me. What has he done that hasn't?
What has he done that
You're
hasn't?
supposed to tell me why Trump is terrible for America.
Okay,
Right.
so
So why?
do you want me to give you reasons why I think he's terrible for America? I could do that.
Try.
Okay, well, I think he's terrible for America because he's a fascist. I think he's terrible for America because he has a dissent for human rights.
Fascist?
I think he's terrible for America because
How is he
his
a
economic
fascist? That's
policy
a hey,
redistributes
that's
wealth
a
from the
crazy.
poor
That's
and
a
the rich.
strong word to throw out there. As a fascist.
Yeah, because he fulfills all 14 characteristics of fascism as defined in the literature.
Can we name 4?
Yeah, for sure. Second one is disdain for human rights. I mean, he's been violating undocumented migrants' human rights unapologetically, then arguing he thinks he should be able to.
All right. Keeping America right from criminals. All right, that's fine.
So do you think it's okay to violate the human rights of criminals, quote unquote?
I mean, do criminals violate the human rights of American citizens?
Do undocumented migrants violate the human rights of American citizens when they come into our country?
I mean, don't they get the death penalty?
No?
The death penalty is not real.
So you think if you enter into the country illegally, you should get the death penalty. But if you're already a citizen of the country and you rape a woman, you should be made president.
Rape has he been rape? What are we talking about?
Grape. That Donald Trump was
He's
held
never raped a woman in his life.
So he was held civilly liable for raping E. Jean Carroll in the 90s. And he left. Okay. Yeah, but apparently you should get the death penalty for misdemeanors, according to that last guest. But then if you beat up a cop and drive a stun gun into their neck, guess what? You should actually get let out of jail and you should be able to roam free in the streets. Make that make sense. While we're going to get the next guest up on the live, if you are on that queue, make sure you're MAGA. Allison, thank you for the $10 super chat over on YouTube, saying, so mad I missed the live stream yesterday, but I'm hoping you're having a great happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well, Allison. I appreciate you for the $10 super chat, and trust me, you didn't miss out on much. The debates yesterday were kind of insufferable. I'm going to be very honest with you. If you're MAGA and you'd like to come up and debate, go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that chat and hop in that queue. We will get you up here on the stream to debate. Right now, we're cycling through guests rather fast, so it means that you have a pretty high chance of getting up on the live. But do keep in mind, if you do intentionally deceive me,
fuck Trump, fuck what he stands for, I love you.
like that guy, if you do intentionally deceive me to try to get up on the live by calling yourself MAGA, but then you don't end up being MAGA, you will get banned from the stream, y'all. Let's go to get that next guest up here. Next guest is loading in. Not gonna lie, their TikTok account makes them look like they're maybe 14. They didn't load it in. Okay, let's go to get that next guest, Mr. Bob the Builder, up on the stream. Here we go. Mr. Bob the Builder, welcome in, man. Are you MAGA?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
I don't know.
You don't know? Real quick, what time? Wait, you don't know your age? I don't even need to ask you what time it is. Get out of here, minor. Moving on to the next guest. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that chat. Y'all already know. A lot of the people that end up wanting to come on this stream are children. I wish we just had some adults. What's going on? How old are you? Okay, it doesn't look like they're here. Wow, man, we are true.
No.
That is a kid. Moving on. See what I mean? It's like a daycare in here. What's going on, Negative? Are you MAGA?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Why do you support Trump, the worst president of your life?
Well, me personally, first of all, you never asked my age. You're not following by your own rules. That's crazy. 06, July 15th.
I don't know. I
confirming that with you.
I sometimes I ask guests for their age, sometimes I don't.
Okay, my bad.
I can't break my own rules because I'm the one that sets them.
Makes sense. So, me personally, I started liking Trump in 2020 because I didn't see Biden as a very good candidate to be president. And I've been kind of following what Trump has done in the last since his 2016 presidency, and so far what he's done in his 2025 presidency. And so far I gotta say, I don't really see any negative that he's doing aside from maybe ICE.
You can't identify anything bad that he's done?
Aside from his past.
So
he's okay. Let me take a.
Let me count them. So there was the two courts that ruled he was illegally deporting undocumented migrants, the federal judges. There was the Supreme Court that ruled he violated Rodrigo Garcia's constitutional rights. The Supreme Court ruled again today that his enactment of the Alien Enemies Act on a group of Venezuelan migrants in northern Texas was illegal. And then there was that other circuit court that ruled his EEO to end birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented migrants was unconstitutional. So I'm sure that there's like plenty of more things. Oh, and then he said on the ABC interview that he says he doesn't know if he has to uphold the Constitution. So, just like with a second's thought, in less than a minute, I've been able to count 5 different times he's strictly violated the Constitution or called for violations of the Constitution in the last 100 days.
Well, yeah, it's safe to say he has done plenty of, unconstitutional things. But, I would say you count the negatives and the positives. I feel like in the last 100 days he's, Dean, I can't fuck with you anymore. I love you, bro. I can't take this shit serious.
Yeah, that was a liberal in disguise, I guess. What a troll. Funny thing is he sounded just like any Trump supporter did, especially with his opening comments about me not following my own rules. That's something a Trump supporter would say. Man, you know what? Let me put it this way. There's 6,000 people in the TikTok live stream right now, 1,000 people over the YouTube stream, so 7,000 people, all things considered. I find it like quite embarrassing that out of 7,000 people, there's not one person that's like, hey, I support the president of America, and I bet I could, prove to Dean why he's wrong. So, if that is you, if there's any Trump supporters watching right now with a little bit of a backbone, with a little bit of a spine, let me know. We'll get you up on the stream. But then once again, liberals, please don't hop in that queue just so we could kind of expedite the ever-fleeting Trump supporters up into the live, up into the space. People are just really scared of talking to me. They're very scared of debating with me. I hate it. It's quite frankly terrible, but it is what it is, and we just need to kind of break through that. What's up, Dale? How are you? Okay, Dale's a troll just like any other troll. What's going on? More Briz. Are you MAGA?
Yeah,
Yeah, why is that?
because I'm pro-life.
You're pro-life. So you voted for Trump for his pro-life policy.
Yeah.
Did you know that in the last 30 years, abortions every single year have been going down and down and down and down and down? But then as soon as Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade and allows states to legislate on women's access, for the first time ever, abortion numbers went up. So you voted for more abortions, I guess.
Not really.
That is a fact. What I just said was true.
Nope.
So you're telling me I'm wrong. Okay, so correct me.
Yeah. No, I just think that Trump is pro-life. We're gonna save the babies. So, yeah.
So what was a fact I just shared with you that you said was incorrect?
I don't know. You're just yapping about something.
Oh, great. This is going to just be a great conversation, man. Hey, I have a question. Where does conception occur in a woman's body?
The uterus? I'm guessing.
No, the fallopian tubes. What is the first stage of human development called?
Huh?
In like 2 sentences or less, tell us why you're pro-life.
Because it's murder.
Yeah. So it's like murder to kill a baby in the womb?
Yeah.
Okay, why? Let's hear another sentence or two. Let's hear it.
What do you mean?
I think my question was clear. Why is it murder to kill a fetus?
You don't think it's bad to kill a baby?
No, I don't.
Wow. That's crazy.
Okay. So answer my question. What is murder?
Killing somebody?
Okay, if you kill something, you murder that thing. Do you eat meat?
Yeah. Huh?
Do you eat meat?
Meat?
Yeah.
No.
No. So you're vegetarian?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you vegan or vegetarian?
Vegetarian.
You're vegetarian. Explain to me your diet. Show us your fridge. I don't believe you.
The salads, for most of the times, fruits, banana, oats.
Show us your fridge.
My fridge? I'm not a homer. I'm not a homer now, so.
Yeah, this guy's obviously just yanking my chain. So we're going to go to get the next guest up in here. What's going on, Jaden? Do you support Trump?
No, I never will. I love Kamala.
Dude, base Jaden. Wow, man, these conversations today have been great. I think I'm about to bring Mr. Face back up and just ask him to be normal. Okay. Okay, Mr. Face. So you're only on my live because I've reaccepted you. I have a couple conditions.
Yes, sir.
Don't go on like weird random rants about how MS-13 has a hit out on you.
So it's not a weird rant. This is actually not. I swear to God, on my mother's grave, this is true. So
Okay, so assuming it's true, it's probably not the best idea to therefore blast that to 7.3 thousand
no,
people.
I'm actually working with like different agencies to help get people in jail that were a part of what they did to me.
Okay, but like I said, once again, if it is true, it's probably
Yeah.
not a good idea to blast it to 7.3 thousand people.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, I won't allow that on my live.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can talk about
And
something.
I actually think that it's like, if it is true, it's for your best self-interests.
I know how to protect myself, but I appreciate your concern.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you did tell us that you support Trump. So and then you said a couple times in the chat that you are genuinely interested in a good faith conversation about your support for the administration. You did mess up your age when I first brought you up here, but I asked you like a billion questions and seemingly like that was genuine. So take it away. Tell us why you support the current administration.
So first off, I want to say I'm from northern Iraq, and my family came here in 1998. My dad was a victim of genocide from the Saddam Hussein reign, and so I'm an immigrant, and I support enforcing our border law because no other country in the world has open borders like we did, and it's just completely ridiculous. We let in complete other people. We have no clue. Like they're terrorists. Like the January 1st terrorism attack in Louisiana that killed so many people, bro. But it was an ISIS member. You can look it up. Yeah, and people don't even know about that. Dude, you know how many people died? It's like 40 people.
Okay. All right. So the subject that committed the attack was a U.S. citizen from Texas.
Right, Texas. And he was indoctrinated. He was in Discord ISIS group chats, and he actually...
Here's the issue, though. He was a U.S.
Right.
citizen.
Right. And he that U.S. citizen has connections to multiple terrorist organizations. Anybody can be a terrorist, even a U.S. citizen.
But you just gave us the argument that we need to close down the borders because somebody was able to come in through the open borders and commit this terror attack.
Exactly. Yes, but
they didn't come through the quote unquote borders. They were a U.S. citizen from Texas.
Right. U.S. citizens and foreign terrorist organization and members. They work together.
So basically, he couldn't have done it without undocumented migrants, is what you're saying?
Exactly. That's exactly.
I don't
what
think
I'm
that you have
talking
any
about.
evidence for that claim. Also, not to mention, I want to ask you: do you think that Biden and Harris opened the borders?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, how did they do that?
Well, I don't know. They just passed something crazy. I don't know. I'm not really too educated on all of the bills, Congress, stuff like that. But all I know is that they wanted the borders wide open so they can boost the economy from the F word and other stuff. So those black market and drugs like that.
So first and foremost, what percentage of DRUGS come into America across the southern border as by
What was that?
citizens? What
Repeat that
percentage of
again.
DRUGS are brought into America across the southern border by citizens?
Well, I don't know.
85%. 85 fucking percent. Has Donald Trump ever spoken about cracking down on the citizens coming into our country through the
hell
legal
yeah.
ports of entry?
Hell yeah,
Sure,
dude.
show me.
Dude, he just designated like 8 Hispanic organizations such as cartels and gangs in the U.S. That's why people are being deported.
That was completely incoherent gibberish that had nothing to do with the question I asked.
Right? How?
Because I asked you a question insofar as when Donald Trump has spoken about our influence policy to crack down on the U.S. citizens coming across the southern border trafficking DRUGS.
Oh, DR. Okay, drug. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah. We've indicted like cartels. Cartels use people, U.S. citizens, to traffic drugs.
Right. So then show me where Donald Trump has even done as much as spoken at a mic on a podium saying that
So,
it's to crack down on the citizens.
Right. He designated like anybody working for the cartel, any Hispanic gangs as terrorists. So that means U.S. citizens that work for them are also terrorists. So that's how he's cracking down. They get charged just like them.
How do we identify them? Has Donald Trump influenced any policy to crack down on the individuals actually coming across the border? Rhetoric won't actually further cracking down on these people.
Well, he's making some damn good steps, such as deporting MS-13, 18th Street, and NDA.
Wait, so you're saying that
Salvadoran.
he's cracking down on U.S. citizens bringing DRUGS into the country by deporting undocumented migrants?
Yes, and
Okay, that's also completely incoherent.
how? How is that incoherent?
How does deporting undocumented migrants crack down on the citizens bringing DRUGS into America?
So those undocumented immigrants don't come in contact with U.S. citizens and connect them to more organizations, so they can
Undocumented
do.
migrants have absolutely nothing to do with citizens entering into America with the use of legal
How?
ports of entry.
How?
Because they're legal ports of entry.
What do you mean legal port? These people aren't coming through legal ports of entry.
Yeah,
They're coming
yes,
illegally.
the citizens are.
Yes,
the citizens that are bringing the DRUGS into America are.
Right, exactly.
So then how is he wanting to crack down on them?
Because the people that are transporting these drugs work for the cartels, bro. And if you are a transporter of drugs for the cartel and you're a U.S. citizen, it doesn't matter if you're coming wherever you're a U.S. citizen, you're a terrorist. Doesn't matter because you work with them.
Okay,
It's
so
simple
he's
as
cracking
that.
down on these people by labeling the organization that they work for terrorists.
Exactly.
Okay.
Perfectly said.
So,
Perfect.
So what does this change insofar as the operatable entry of them with their DRUGS?
It's making it more normalization to bust down on these huge operations, such as, oh, did you hear about that $500 million?
So you're
bust?
basically saying that the way he's cracked down on citizens coming into America through legal ports of entries by basically saying, well, if they happen to be a part of the citizens that are trafficking 85% of the DRUGS, then they're terrorists.
And where did you get 85? Where does that number come from?
Dude, I could give you my source, and I
Yeah.
will, but like,
I just wanna
honestly,
know.
I just think it's so fucking disingenuous because you've been saying shit just to say it for fun.
Wait,
for
what do you
fun.
mean?
You've been
What's
saying
going on?
you've been saying shit just to say it for fun with no evidence, even when it's false. Like the idea that the Biden
Dean,
Harris
calm down. We're
administration
having a good
passed-
debate.
Whoa. Just because I'm saying something that is attacking your position doesn't mean that I'm not calm because
No,
I'm
no.
speaking facts.
Listen, we're both being taken advantage. The liberals and Republicans are both being controlled by one huge power. Dude, we're not supposed to be fighting. We're supposed to come together. We are not supposed to be fighting like this, bro.
Wait, what
you
do
understand?
what do you mean everybody's being... so you think that Donald Trump is a puppet?
Hell yeah. So is Kamala. So is Biden.
Uh-oh. Okay, let's go ahead and see if he's an anti-Semite, everybody. Who controls him?
Israel.
Yeah, they're fucking fuck. Okay.
Really?
Well, I
You're
mean, I guess the answer, the state of Israel, is different than the answer, Jewish individuals specifically. But I do have an inclination. I will assume that when he says Israel is controlling both parties, he's not referencing like funding through like AI, like through through Israel's PAC, and he's probably just like perpetuating like anti-Semitism about Jewish individuals. It is incredibly more likely that he's like an alt-right Nazi compared to critiquing the state of Israel in a good faith manner. What is going on, C-Press? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do. So it's actually quite new. I voted for. I've always been Democrat. It's just been most recently, I think this last coming up election, that I voted against Kamala. So.
Okay, so why do you support Trump?
Well, I live in Texas. So being a Texan and being a Democrat was always was always a bit of a challenge. So I would always hold my position pretty well. It was just more of truthfully, we saw things kind of get out of control when it comes to crime. And I mean, I know that I truthfully don't have the statistics
things got
and
out of
kind
control.
of the laws and everything behind it.
So
but-
things got out of control related to crime. So you elected the 34-count felon criminal that was also held civilly liable for raping a woman, that also then pardoned individuals that violently assaulted and beat up cops on January 6th and let them walk free, calling them patriots. That also supports economic
Yeah.
policy that redistributes wealth from the poor to the rich, increases levels of poverty, thereby also increasing levels of violent crime.
However, what really good at it. You're
Damn, I cooked him so hard he got Mega Mobile. Yo, God is silencing you right now, C-Press. By the way, we can't hear you. You got some lag. And then also, for the people in the chat saying that last guest wasn't wrong, like his motivations insofar why he...
How about
now? Sorry, C-Prize, I'm going to remove you just because of the lag. I do appreciate you for coming up, though. His motivations, insofar as why he was arguing Israeli influence, had nothing to do with being pro-Palestinian, nothing to do with AIPAC, had nothing to do with lobbyists in Congress paying our politicians to vote in accordance with Israel's wishes and desires, and had all to do with just hating Jewish people. I mean, hey, if he wasn't, like this alt-right conspiratorial, lunatic that was talking about how a U.S. citizen is an undocumented migrant that committed a terror attack related to ISIS, then maybe I'd be more willing to give credence to the view that it was like a good faith actor with a genuine claim. But obviously, like, the source of that claim was referencing anti-Semitism, not the good faith virtues that I described. Hello, Race. How old are you?
I'm 17.
Okay, Race. Unfortunately, you do got to be 18 to be on TikTok Live, so we are going to move on to the next guest. If you are in that queue, make sure that you do indeed support the current administration. We are just going to go and get that next guest up here, y'all. Everyone, just do be patient. We got the next guest loading in right now. What is going... Kind of crazy to call him an anti-Semite. I mean, I think that he was a hop, skip, and a jump away. I mean, he was actively like calling U.S. citizens undocumented migrants to justify like incredibly disparaging immigration policy, as well as perpetuating the notion that undocumented migrants are very violent criminals that should be dehumanized. Like, I mean, hop, skip, and a jump away. I made the assumption. I think that it was true. So what's going on, Christian? How old are you?
I'm 18. This is my son's account, but I don't have TikTok. I just...
Wait. Did you just say that you're 18?
Yes.
And then you said son?
This is my son's account.
Okay, well, I'm looking at the profile picture. He has to be at like minimum, like what, 15, 16?
No, I'm just a big fan. Don't kick me. I'm a big...
Hello, Mr. Living. Are you MAGA?
No, the only reason why I joined your live, I've been watching you for a minute. I watch you debate. I think you're a very smart young man. I appreciate the information that you give on TikTok and any other platform that you're on. I think you're fucking hilarious. I'm sorry for cursing, but I think you're hilarious. But I think that everything that you say is fact-based. And I support your page. I support you. And that's all I want to say. You can drop me now.
Listen, your name is Mr. Living Legend, and that is absolutely fucking true. You're a living legend. Thank you so much for the love, my man. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I really appreciate you for coming on.
Man. You too.
W that guy. Show some love. All right. C-Prez, I did bring you back up. I did just kick you because you had some lag, but I'd love to talk to you. Your mic is muted, though. What's up, Jacob? Are you MAGA?
Yeah, what's up, Dean? Yes, I am.
You are indeed MAGA. C-Prez, you were still on mute. Feel free to unmute whenever. Jacob, there you are. Hello, C-Prez.
Oh, I'll let C-Prez go first.
All right, we're going to go and do a little bit of a 1v2. Take it away, guys. Why should I support the worst president of all of our lifetimes?
He's not. That's the thing.
I don't think he's the worst president of all time. I think the worst president of all time is the ones from like the 18. What's his name?
Andrew Jackson.
Not Andrew Jackson.
He's pretty bad. He led the Trail of Tears. I said the worst president of our lifetimes.
I feel like, our lifetime, it would be George W. Bush for him causing that recession in 2008. That was pretty bad.
I think that Trump is arguably worse than Bush. The reason I say I think that Trump is worse than Bush, even though Bush caused the recession of 2008, is for a handful of reasons. First, like the unconstitutional precedent set forth by him, such as when he tried to steal the election from Biden in 2020. That's the biggest internal threat on the American democracy since the Civil War. And I think where Trump was exuberantly bad was within his foreign policy. But I think that, when we consider that Donald Trump wants to ethnically cleanse the Palestinians off the Gaza Strip, forcefully expel them, and then build a Riviera to give to Israel, that makes him comparably worse. And then when we consider his anti-Ukrainian sentiment of essentially allowing, paving a path for Russia to do whatever the hell they want to all of the Ukrainians they've killed and ethnically cleansed, it kind of pushes him a little bit over that edge.
So, but that brings up a lot of points, man. That one of them, as an American, why do you think that we should be involved in other people's problems, and why should the American taxpayer have to continuously I mean, we're completely underfunded when it comes down to education and other basic services.
So then why does Donald Trump want to get rid of the federal Department of Education? You can answer that later, though.
Yeah, but I mean, you're kind of avoiding my question here. So why does the American taxpayer have to be continuously involved in foreign affairs? I mean, that's not our problem. We're not being murdered. Nothing isn't going into war. So why does the taxpayer have to pay for other people's wars and for their beliefs, truthfully?
Yeah, I think that the American taxpayer has an obligation to fund Ukraine for a handful of different reasons. The first reason is we agreed to, if they were ever invaded, with the Budapest Memorandum in the 90s. So we told them that they would if it ever happened, a contractual agreement. The second reason is like a potential moral obligation that would exist. I mean, like funding a couple $2 billion per year to like help in the fight against the ethnic cleansing, genocide, and killing of hundreds of thousands is a pretty like moral thing to do. A third reason is like concerns of national security. If we pull back on our support for Ukraine, it just means that other countries in Europe step up. Like as soon as Donald Trump stopped sending them humanitarian aid and funding, the UK and France said, well, now we are going to consider putting our NATO boots on the ground to fight and kill Russian troops. I mean, what I think that leads to a threat of a third world war and emboldening of Russian expansionism. Plus, like when we have like kind of ignored Russian expansionism, like historically with their annexation of Crimea in 2014, what happened is they just were further emboldened to expand into the rest of the region. So they stepped back, reloaded and locked in, and then went for the rest of the region. So I think that the only way to prevent it is to hold a firm red line against it. And so for those reasons, I think that funding Ukraine is a very necessary thing to do.
And I agree with that. I mean, I totally see your points there when it comes down to other nations stepping in once the United States took a step back and said that funding would be coming to an end or would be reduced. But why did it take to this point? I mean, it took years for the UK and all these other countries in Europe to basically have to step up and basically fund the war once the United States was tired of it.
No, so they've been supporting Ukraine.
Yeah,
but the claim is that when the U.S. stepped down, they had to pick up the slack
Exactly.
that the U.S. dropped. However, like we're not talking about other countries in NATO as it relates to why they haven't fulfilled the bargain that you think they should have in the last 4 years. I'm responding to your claim insofar as why we should support Ukraine. I gave you reasons, and so far they haven't been contested. Not to manage, like it's a rather minuscule amount of money for a good cause. Like for instance, did you support Donald Trump's tax cuts in his first term?
Truthfully, I mean, I don't really, that doesn't really affect me, so I don't really know so much about it, truthfully.
Yeah, his first tax terms only really affected my family. I mean, I wasn't paying taxes during his first term.
They spent $1 trillion on tax cuts for members of the top 1%. So it's funny because you look at $1 trillion in tax cuts so million and billionaires could buy an extra gold necklace or yacht, and you're like, oh, I don't really care. But then as it relates to a couple $1 billion to prevent families from getting ripped apart, humans from being slaughtered and ethnically cleansed, and you're like, well, that's where I hold the red line. It just doesn't make much sense to me.
Well, I mean, and that's where we disagree. I mean, that's the biggest thing here. It's okay. You're basing this off of morality. So okay, yeah. So is it morally, correct to help other nations? Yeah, 100%. I mean, I would love to help everyone out, but at the end of the day, I mean, the United States is not a charity, and we can't fund all of these wars. We can't help everyone out.
Wait, do you think that us honoring a contractual agreement we signed with a country in the 90s is us being a charity?
It's 100% being a charity. Everyone, the thing is this.
Wait. So when you went into a contractual agreement with your employer, insofar as saying that you will work and in turn the employer will compensate you, does that mean that your employer is a charity?
Well, that's different. I mean, that's when
It's not different because we went into the Budapest Memorandum with Ukraine in the 90s stating if they gave up their nukes, would protect them if they're invaded. Also, not to mention that if your issue here is charitable causes and how we shouldn't be the charity of innocent humans getting slaughtered and ethnically cleansed in Ukraine, why should we be the charity of million and billionaires in America?
And the thing is that the way you word it, you make it sound so much worse, and you I mean, you're good at this. I mean, you're good at making it sound and getting people to your side. And unfortunately, that's not the case, because if you think about it like actual adults, I mean, you see things how they really are. And it's like, yes, people are obviously dying, and that's so tragic. And I wish everyone would be peace and love, but that's unfortunate. We can't be everywhere at everything and fund everything at once. I mean, that's just not the case. And
so you said that I made things sounded worse than they actually are. So I said that they're getting.
Why does a taxpayer?
Are they not actually getting ethnically cleansed?
No, it's just the way that you word it, right? So you say that, oh, people are getting killed compared to millions of millionaires are getting tax cuts here in the U.S. I mean, obviously, if you compare the two things, you can't. I mean, we're talking about.
So I just want to know what I said that was false.
Well, no, I didn't say that it was false. I just said that the way that you're kind of leading into it, and you're kind of saying that, oh, well.
Okay, well, when you say that I'm
getting
saying
killed
something
compared to
that is making
tax
something
cuts, I
worse
mean,
than it
that's-
actually is, it means that I'm exacerbating a true fact,
Exactly.
which makes it therefore false.
No, just because if you over exaggerate something doesn't mean it can make it false.
Yes,
I mean,
it does. It
the thing
literally
is that you're
does.
obvious.
An over
The way-
exaggeration is necessarily a false statement. Like if I'm having like a
Well, and
bad
that's-
day
that's-
because like for instance I tripped on a rock in the road and then I over exaggerate that by saying oh my god, like the day I'm having is worse than like the day I had when my parents died. That would be an example of an exaggeration, and therefore obviously that would therefore be a false statement. Right? But so you're telling me I'm making things worse than they actually are, but then you're affirming that everything I'm saying is true. So therefore I'm actually not making things worse than they actually are. I'm simply repeating the fact that Ukrainians are being ethnically cleansed, the fact that Ukrainians are being pushed out of their homes, the fact that Ukrainians are being slaughtered, the fact that Russia is a foreign aggressor that is violating the right to self-determination, the right to live, the right to exist. And then your response is to tell me, oh, Dean, you're exaggerating it. Where's the lie?
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's one thing I really, and it's so strange because, like I said before, I mean, in the last years, in the last couple of elections, I've always voted, and I saw from your side of being able to vote Democrat, and I guess voting for the people and trying to like world peace. But I don't know, like the last couple of years, I've just seen things so differently. I've been, I mean, that's kind of what they say, right? When you start off as a Democrat, but then you grow older and you become a Republican, and you see things kind of from a different light. And like I said, it was a challenge being a Democrat here in Texas, but I mean, the truth is there's so many key things that I think that honestly under the Biden administration just kind of pushed me over the edge to vote for a Republican. That, I mean, it's just one of the things where maybe you don't understand and a lot of people don't understand, and maybe you're not affected by the immigration that's coming into the United States that Texas has seen. But I mean, it's just one of those things that you kind of have to live it to experience it. So that's just kind of, that's
Okay.
my take on it.
So you did not respond to my question asking you to point out the lie in my statements. You pivoted, but the pivot's fine. Moving to immigration. Okay. So do you think that the Biden-Harris administration was bad for immigration? Do you think that Donald Trump is good for immigration?
I am 100% against Biden, Harris, 1,000%.
Really? So you were against building
honestly,
more
like just
border
my
wall?
vote alone.
I
No,
thought-
honestly, when Trump was kind of, so when Trump was kind of screaming that to build a wall type of thing, I honestly was not a fan of his and did not support him at that time. I didn't really see it at that point of kind of the danger or.
So why are
the
you
warnings
against the
that were kind of
Biden-Harris
coming?
administration? Tell me one bad policy they passed.
Well, I mean, just again, I mean, it's the biggest thing is just kind of not vetting. I mean, and I'm not going to be pretty truthful here. I mean, here in Texas, you see the huge influx of migrants coming in, and it's the crime has increased. I mean, so many things have changed here, and it's all just honestly because of open border. I mean, they have honestly just let everyone come through, no vetting. Here we have huge communities that honestly did not exist 4 years ago, and it's primarily made up of immigrants that truthfully have very little to no vetting that have come into the United States.
So
And
you said that
now
there's open borders. Did they open the borders?
the Biden administration, 100%.
How did they open the borders?
100%. I mean, so how are you telling? So the thing is this, right? Again, I'm not
want
someone
you to,
that's
okay, just to clarify, because you've not given me answers to my questions. Repeat the question I asked you, then answer it.
Yeah, I mean, you want me to state basically how did they open those borders?
Yes.
So again, I mean, and I'm trying to reiterate that I'm not someone that I can basically read verbatim of the laws that have been passed. I'm not as educated as you on that, but
So if you don't know how they open the borders, how do you know they open the borders?
well, I mean, it's again, you base everything off of policy. I mean, and all of your that's why you're so good at it. I mean, you base everything off of facts, and the one thing that you do lack is just experience. I mean,
So
that's
personal
and it's
life
clear. I mean, you
experience.
don't.
You're saying that you know the Biden-Harris administration opened the borders because you personally feel like you experienced open borders under their admin. Okay, well, let's assume your
Well,
logic
you've
is
seen
true
it.
here.
I mean,
So let's assume that you're right and I'm
so
wrong, and just allow me to speak. Let's assume that you're right and I'm wrong, and your logic is sound. That logic being that if you feel like something's happened to you, you could blame it on the president. So in April of 2020, under Trump's first term, we had the highest level of unemployment since the Great Depression at 14.8%. That was an experience that millions of Americans, in fact, 14.8% of the labor force went through. Are we justified in saying that Donald Trump caused that? Are we justified in saying that Donald Trump passed unemployment policy that caused that?
honestly, I would have to look into it. I'm not sure.
What would you have to look into? Like what the policy that Donald Trump passed?
Well, I mean, again, I didn't feel.
I want you to be
I mean,
I want you to be very clear. In order for you to understand, acknowledge, and agree with the conclusion that therefore Donald Trump caused that level of unemployment, specifically, what would you have to look into? I promise this is an incredibly relevant question.
Yeah, I mean, there's several things. I mean, I would have to see exactly what was going on at that point in time.
Like what? Like be
and
more
then
be that still vague. Be so specific.
I'm honestly not even sure. I honestly can't even remember that. And again, everything is based
once again,
off
I'll
of your own
repeat it. I'll
experience.
repeat it. In April of 2020, under Trump's first term, we had the highest level of unemployment in America since the Great Depression at 14.8%. Assuming your logic is sound, that we could blame anything that happens to us on the president, Donald Trump therefore caused that 14.8% level of unemployment. You then responded in saying, Dean, I don't know if that's true. I'd have to look into it more. And I'm asking you specifically what you'd have to look into more. Is it possible that specifically what you'd have to look into is to see the policy and things that Donald Trump actually did as president to understand and potentially acknowledge if any of those things cause that level of unemployment?
Well, yeah, of course, but again, everything.
Okay, so
like
then
what
in
I'm
order
saying
for you to
is
say that Donald
everyone-
Trump passed unemployment policy and caused that high level of unemployment, you'd have to first understand what he actually did as president and acknowledge the policy that he sent through Congress or signed into law with the use of EOs. So why don't you have to do the same thing for Biden and Harris as it relates to your claim that they opened the borders?
But so who opened the borders then? I mean, so
You're
you're
not
telling me
answering my
that they
question.
went from, I mean, thousands of immigrants passing through our southern border to basically, I don't even know how many are now, a couple hundred that are going through the southern border.
So you're
And
telling
when
me
there
that
was
we went from an
thousands of them
unemployment
going
rate of
through that were
4%
being
to
unvetted.
14.8% under Trump's term, and he didn't pass unemployment policy?
That's not even what I didn't even respond to that.
I know. I'm applying your logic analogously to the unemployment level under Donald Trump's first term. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, but don't put words in my mouth. That's not what I said. I
That'd
mean,
be the
I'm
equivalent
saying
conclusion.
that
You're basically saying that we had low levels of unemployment, then high levels of unemployment. Therefore, they must have caused it. Well, under Trump's first term, we had low levels of unemployment, then high levels of unemployment. Therefore, Trump caused it.
and that's so the biggest thing here is that kind of what I mentioned earlier is that you are here, especially here in the United States. When I was a Democrat, I was always worried about what other people were doing, everyone's well-being. And once you get older and you start making money, you start actually having a career. You start focusing more on obviously things that affect you and your family. And that's what people need to understand once you get older is that a lot of these policies, if they don't affect you, obviously don't look into them. I mean, when I was a Democrat, I was looking to all these policies, reading about everything that was going on in the world and trying to fix it. But the older you get,
You're
the less
making
you honestly
Dems look
care.
so good right now.
No, it's honestly not.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes, you're saying that Democrats
Not
think
at all.
critically and actually evaluate the efficacy of a presidency based upon what they do. But then when you turn Republican, you just stop. You just stop doing that. Dude,
well, no, but
W libs,
yeah, but
W
there's
Dems,
no-
let's go.
Yeah, but there's no way you can live like that. And again, that's just one of those things that comes with
Okay,
maturing.
okay. Well, see, Prez, at this point, I'm going to kick you. Would you like to know why?
Go for it, dude.
Yeah, because you're not debating me. Like every time I get you, every time you make a point and I refute it, you just say, well, but Dean, I'm going to go in this tangent about how I used to be a Democrat.
Well, I'm just giving you my point, man. I mean, it's like you know that you're
once
good
again,
at debating.
I'm going to refute your argument very specifically. You're saying that Biden opened the borders. Okay. So first and foremost, the reason why it would be important for you to understand and acknowledge what the policy or executive orders the Biden-Harris administration passed would be is to defeat the correlation causation fallacy. You can't just simply say because there's something that happened under their presidency that they caused it. Because if you can say that, well, then all of a sudden Donald Trump caused COVID and Donald Trump caused the highest level of unemployment that we've had in our country since the Great Depression in April of 2020. You're obviously not going to say that. Therefore, you cannot use this fallacious logic. So the next step would be you understanding the policy that they passed to cause the matter. But you don't understand that policy, and you can't name that policy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, even when COVID was happening, I was a Democrat. I mean, I was anti-Trump 100%.
Okay, so then, okay, now I'm gonna kick you. Now I'm gonna kick you. Now I'm gonna kick you. Goodbye. So I told you that I was gonna kick you because every time I make a good point, you just go back to talking about how you used to be a Democrat. Then I make the good point again, and then you once again full circle go back to talking about how you used to be a Democrat. Unbelievable. What is going on, Victor? Are you MAGA?
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I am.
Sweet. Before we hop into our conversation, I have a couple people to thank. Jack, thank you so much for the $5 over on YouTube Super Chat. I do really appreciate you for the love. And Sid, thank you for the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. Everybody show some love to Sid. Down below in that chat right now for the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. Sid says, "Hi, King. What is going on, Sid? It is so good to have you in here with us today. Everybody, please show some love to Sid down below in that chat. Holy fuck. Thank you so much. And then, oh my God, Disgusted Veteran with $100 on YouTube chat as well. Disgusted Veteran says, showing up to fight the good fight. Veteran, it is so good to have you in here with us again today. We love you, Veteran, and we love you, Sid. Everybody, show some love to Veteran and Sid down below in that comment section right now. I would also like to point out that there's a couple more people I'd like to thank over on Venmo and PayPal, but I want to allow this guest a chance to speak their minds, so I'll hold that off for around a couple minutes here, but just know I will get around to you. Thank you guys so much. Shout out Veteran and Sid down below in that chat. And Mr. Victor, take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
Yes, so I support Trump. I mean, look, I'll be the first one to tell you.
I'm going to be listening to you. I just have to open up my office door because my cat is in here and they need to get out. Actually, I won't be listening to you. Give me 10 seconds.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, take it away, Victor.
Yeah, so look, I get why people don't like Trump. I mean, you know, like I said, I was on this show maybe 3 days ago, and I was trying to talk to you, but some guy kind of got caught up in the conversation, and well, that was that. But look, I get why people don't like him. You know, he can come off as a douchebag. He has a personality that's kind of hard to like, but look, at the end of the day, I really do feel that he won the election for a reason. I think that the Biden and Kamala administration didn't do as good of a job as we wanted them to. And I think that's why he's the president of the United States. And I'm a big fan of like what he's been able to accomplish so far in the 3-4 months that he's been president. So the first one is the tariffs, you know. Yeah, short term, for sure, they're hurting the economy. As you saw with the stock market, it was going down for a while, but it's bouncing back up. There's countries like Saudi Arabia, who, you know, he just made a deal with. China's coming back up to the table. They want to renegotiate a deal, which I think is going to be probably one of the best deals that, at least with China, that this country has ever seen. It's probably going to be a deal that just, you know, in my opinion, right, and correct me if I'm wrong, but China's benefited off this country forever. I mean, every product, a lot of the products here in America are built and made in China, and China profits from that. And I think that's great for them, but that's also bad for us. And I think that, you know, Trump trying to renegotiate a deal with China is a good thing. The manufacturing's for sure going to leave us. I know Trump was saying he wants to bring manufacturing back to America, but that's going to be very hard if you strike a deal with China, because obviously it's going to stay in China.
There you go. Now you're about to realize what I was just going to point out to you. You're saying that China's been profiting off of us for so long, implying that that's a bad thing. Donald Trump has now made it easier for China to profit off of us.
Right. So my thing is
be honest. Did you realize that as you were speaking?
No, I'm smart enough to realize that, you know, I've known, you know, so. Yeah. With that said, I think this trade's going to be good for us. You know, it's going to be a deal. Hopefully, we don't know what the deal is yet, but hopefully it's a deal that, you know, benefits us a lot more than
we actually already do know what the deal is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So China has lowered their tariffs on American products from a 21% average to a 10% average.
Okay.
By the way, hey, man, I'll say that's a good thing. I like the globalization of commerce. 11% reduction in the average rate of tariff that China has on America. Yeah, that's not a bad thing at all. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't think the pain that it took to get that was justified or was sufficiently justified the outcome. I don't think that the means justified the end. What I mean by this is what we had to do to get there was to reduce the American GDP. What we had to do to get there was to temporarily crash the stock market until he paused the tariffs on every other country on earth. What we had to do to get there is to temporarily, tariff the fuck out of Chinese goods. So now there's still yet American consumers buying goods from China for like 200% more than they originally cost, and the ports are looking a little bit bare. What we had to do to get there was to also distance ourselves from every other country on earth. Now, I will say that outcome is not a bad thing. In fact, a 11% reduction in the average rate of tariff is a good thing, but I just don't think that it was good enough to justify the means that he had to use to get there.
Right. And you know what?
Not to
I
mention
agree
that
with
we
you.
still we actually increased our average tariff on them, so now we have a 30% tariff on China, but we end up paying that.
Right. I think this deal will help that out, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the deal is finalized. I could be wrong. But I think that'll work itself out in the long run. And going back to what you said about kind of isolating ourselves from
Okay,
every
well,
other
I want to
country.
clarify. Like what you just said was technically a conspiracy theory. You just said that without any reason or evidence. So it was purely rhetorical.
Okay. But going back to like what you said about the strategy about the GDP going down, isolating ourselves from every other country. I mean, what other way would we get the results that we've just received with like Saudi Arabia and even China and like maybe like the UK and every other country, if not like going through these extreme measures?
So you're talking about like what deal with Saudi Arabia specifically?
Just like for instance, like I think like a $600 billion investment agreement.
Okay. All right.
with
Sorry,
Saudi
you're cooking.
Arabia.
Continue.
I don't think any of this would like really
Tell me
be
more about it. Tell me more about it.
They're supposed to reinvest in America, and I believe like it had something to do with like NVIDIA chips, things of that nature. Also, there was agreements regarding weapons arms manufacturing. So a bunch of like the companies, American companies who do arms manufacturing. A lot of people might not agree with it, but it's a business and it makes us money. So at the end of the day, like these are industries that are going to benefit from this deal. I think that these are some positive things that like are going to bring in like are going to help the GDP essentially.
Okay. So Donald Trump secured $600 billion from Saudi Arabia via an investment from Saudi Arabia into American AI. And then also a portion of that was an investment into purchasing an arms package. I think that he could have achieved this without global tariffs. Like for instance, I think that we kind of ignore the outliers here. Like, why did he have to tariff our two largest importers, Canada and Mexico, to get a $600 billion investment from Saudi Arabia?
Okay.
Beats me. And then it's like, second of all, I think he could have achieved this without tariffs at all, because of course, if they're investing money, they're going to get a profit. And then third, like another bad outcome of the tariffs was a reduction in consumer confidence in American markets, which reduced investment in American markets. So like, for instance, we had booming investment into American manufacturing over the course of the Biden-Harris administration for the last 4 years. Now, because of Trump, like has gone stagnant for the first time in 4 years. And you're like describing to me that he's been able to achieve all of these investments. Well, they definitely don't account for the booming investment that we had via the prosperous economy under the Biden-Harris administration. Like he's literally hurting the economy to almost force other countries to invest in America. Meanwhile, what Biden and Harris's approach was, let's make the economy as best as possible to just make it incredibly, I guess, interested or to interest other countries to invest in the American economy. And when we look at whose plan was more effective, obviously the plan of the Biden-Harris administration was.
Okay, valid. Going back to like the economy thing with the Biden and Harris thing, like for instance, like I think during the Biden and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think during the Biden-Harris administration, like buying a house was crazy. Like I think that I think there's statistics on this too, like that say like that during that administration's time in the office, the housing went up like 60-70%. Like,
Yeah, this is where you lose.
okay, go ahead.
Tariffs only make housing in America more expensive. The raw materials that we use to make houses can come from other countries, like lumber from Canada.
Steel.
You got an echo, Ross.
You got an echo, Ross.
Swipe out of the app.
Swipe out of the app.
Ross, swipe in and out of the app. Like lumber from Canada or steel from Mexico. And so, in other words, Donald Trump has policy to literally make housing more expensive. Did you know that Kamala Harris ran on policy to make houses less expensive? Yeah,
No, I
she
did
wanted
not.
to limit Vanguard and BlackRock from buying single-family property homes to reduce the demand in the market, and she wanted to increase the supply by giving first-time home buyers $25,000 to buy a newly developed home. And the goal of that would be to increase the overall housing supply by 2 to 4 million new houses in the next 4 years. Can you
Hey, Drew, let
name
me ask you something.
any?
Go
No,
ahead.
no, because I want to ask a very important question here. Can you name any housing affordability policy that Donald Trump ran on?
No, not off the top.
All right, so
No.
you just pointed out an issue that the pricing of houses has become less attainable as they become more expensive. Americans can't buy houses. Americans can't pay rent, and the only candidate in the election that wanted to do anything about this was Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, your guy is actively fighting to make those new houses even more expensive.
Okay, valid. But let me ask you something. Why run on those campaign promises as someone who's running for president? Why not do that and as vice president with the President Biden
The
at
question
the
you're
time?
asking is paradoxical.
But just your opinion, like, why do you
Do you want me to explain to you why your question is paradoxical?
Go ahead.
Yeah, because when you run for presidency, you're going to be running on platforms of things that you want to do in your presidency. If she
Right.
already did that under the Biden-Harris administration, she'd just simply replace it with another thing she didn't do under the Biden-Harris administration. The question in of itself is inherently paradoxical. Whatever platform she ran on, regardless of what it was, it would be a list of things that she didn't do, that Biden didn't do, that she wants to do. That is how, running for the president works. And like we could even like run this on Trump. Think about it. Was there a
Right.
single policy that Trump ran on for a second term that he did during his first term?
Immigration.
What's one thing he ran on in his second term that he did during his first term? Name it.
Well, you said what's one thing he ran on his first term that he did not run on his second term? Is that what you're
Something
asking?
that he ran on for his second term that he already did during his first term.
Well, I mean, the border. I mean, that was like his whole thing. Like even with the second.
So if he already did it, how come he has to do it again?
Well, because let me answer that. So my opinion on it is, look, when you do your first term and then you don't get to accomplish your second term because you lose the election, and now you have to come in a term after, you're trying to do the things that you ran off on the first term. So
basically,
like,
you're saying because it hasn't been done yet, or it needs to be done again.
I mean,
to
I
achieve
think
a
it's
certain goal.
happening. I mean, look.
So listen, my point is that you're like any presidential candidate is only going to run on things they haven't already done.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
So do you
Okay,
see how that makes your question paradoxical?
Yes, I do. Going back to the topics, because it's proved me wrong. Trump is terrible for America. Look, I'm from California. You know, I'm from Los Angeles. It's a very democratic state here. A lot of people have issues here with the immigration policies that Trump is running off
I
of.
have huge issues. I have massive issues
Okay.
because he's illegally deporting people. And he doesn't give a fuck. He just keeps on doing it. He illegally deported Abrigo Garcia. His response when the Supreme Court told him he illegally deported Abrigo Garcia was what? I don't give a fuck. I don't
Mistakenly,
even know if
right?
I have to uphold the Constitution.
Okay, so
Right,
I've heard a little
and
bit
he's
about
been
that.
illegally
That's
deporting
the-
Venezuelan migrants under the Alien Enemies Act. He deported droves of them on a plane to Venezuela. He had a federal court rule that was non-constitutional because they didn't have due process, and he's continued to use that act to justify other expulsions of undocumented migrants. Then this morning, less than 4 hours ago, the Supreme Court ruled that he couldn't deport a group of Venezuelan migrants in northern Texas because he wasn't giving them due process. He ruled that they ruled.
And
that
what's
he
the
couldn't use
reason
the
that he
Enemies
wants?
Act.
Is it just because they were migrants that he wanted to deport them, or were they criminals of some sort? Can you give me some details on that?
We don't know because they haven't had due process.
Okay.
right?
So
So in other words, a really big issue with his policy is that he's violating the Constitution in order to do his deportations, and he's doing so unapologetically. He doesn't care, and he stated that. In fact, he even told an ABC News reporter that he doesn't even know if he has to uphold the Constitution.
Yeah, that's a little crazy. I mean, look, I'm sure what, regardless of who we voted in, whether it's Trump or Biden or Kamala, whoever, look, you can't make everybody happy. Some things we're going to agree on and some things we're going to disagree on. But
Wait,
what I will
can
say is
we
this.
agree that like
We can
violating
agree,
the Constitution
real
is a bad
quick,
thing?
but we can definitely agree that it's a bad thing.
So
I'll
then
agree
why
with
do you
on
support
that.
the president that
So-
has launched the
so-
most violations on the Constitution in modern American history and launched
So
the
I'm about
largest
to
internal
explain.
attack on the American democracy since the Civil War when he tried to steal the election from Biden in 2020?
Right. So what going back to why I defend the immigration policy that he's got going on, I don't agree. I don't defend it 100%, but like, look, I'm a fan of secure borders. I'm a fan of, hey, if you want to get into this country, do it legally. And yes, I know that the country's system to come into this country legally it needs work. I'm not saying it's not flawed. I know it's flawed. Okay. But the fact is that just because it's flawed and just because it's hard to become a legal citizen the correct way doesn't give you the right to come in here illegally and commit a crime, which is a federal crime. To cross the border illegally is a federal crime. If you're here as an immigrant, that might be a civil crime, so it's not the same thing. But crossing the border illegally is a federal crime. And I believe that the statistics show that since Trump has been running, over 95% of people trying to cross over 95%. There's been an over 95% drop in the amount of people trying to cross illegally into the country. Can you confirm this?
Yeah.
Okay. So although I don't agree with the
Can I tell you why I don't give a single shit?
Uh-huh.
Because nothing he has done for the southern border has been a long-term solution. The reason why we've seen such a dramatic decrease in the amount of illegal crossings into America is because A, he's scaring them away by violating the human rights of the undocumented migrants that are already in America. And B, he's deploying the use of short-term solutions that don't, in all reality, achieve anything except causing Trump supporters to sit back on their recliner, drink a beer, and laugh and clap. You know what I mean? The root cause of undocumented entry into America is slow, neglected, and depraved legal systems of entry. That is the ultimate incentive for undocumented entry because so many immigrants see the legal means of entry as simply unattainable. Okay.
Right.
And the reason I know this is because there's no other incentives to undocumented entry. In fact, there's so many disincentives to it. You don't get to have a driver's license. You don't get to have an SSN. You don't get to vote for your representatives. You still got to pay taxes. You can't file for a return. You can't get a loan from a bank to buy a house. You're under the constant threat of being deported. You're significantly more likely to be hate crimed. You're significantly more likely to be targeted as a pre-assumed killer, as a pre-assumed gang member, as a pre-assumed pedophile that's going to kidnap your children and eat your family pets. But the reason there's so many individuals that seek out the systems of undocumented entry is because of how slow the legal means of entry are. And what has Donald Trump ever done to do anything about it? Nothing. He has never focused on the legal means of entry into America. He has never said that he wants to make him faster. He's never said that he wants to make him better. Therefore, he's never offered a long-term solution to undocumented entry. And the one time the American government has at least somewhat focused on making the legal means of entry into America more attainable in modern U.S. history was with a bipartisan border bill under the Biden-Harris administration. And how did Trump react when he saw that? He told the Republicans to vote it down, to torpedo it, to kill it. So he's actively fought against policy that would at least send us a step in the right direction. And this is why I say that he's terrible for immigration, even though we have reported statistics such as 95% decreases in undocumented entry since the beginning of his term.
Okay, valid. Now I didn't want to cut you off, but earlier you said that you didn't give a fuck about what I said due to the fact that a lot of these things, a lot of the things that Trump is doing are short-term solutions. When you say short-term solutions, are you just basically stating that like he's just scaring the shit out of everybody into not coming into the country for like the next 3 years, and then after the 3 years, that people will like get comfortable with just trying it again. Is that what you're saying?
Unless I guess we have another fascist predecessor, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you want to say that, yeah, that's fine. But shouldn't we be concerned to some extent with securing the border? I mean, yeah.
No. I absolutely agree. That's why I think that we need a social democrat in the Oval Office that will implement as many legal ports of entry into America as possible, making them as fast as possible, while only screening individuals for prior violent offenses, and that would essentially eradicate undocumented entry. That's what I think we need. But I don't think that what he's doing makes anything more secure. In fact, when we examine his mass deportation, which forcefully expels millions of individuals from the American labor force, costs $175 billion up front, $100 billion in reoccurring opportunity costs, because that's what undocumented migrants pay in taxes, as well as slows GDP growth for the reasons already denoted, on top of the fact that undocumented migrants personally contribute $300 billion per year. What we inevitably will see is more crime because there's higher rates of poverty. And that fact is only further exacerbated and proved by the institution of taxation and economics that indicate is economic policy, not even referencing the immigration policy I just did, is going to reduce the purchasing power of every American making under $395,000 per year. And honestly, the fact that you would trust a 34-count adjudicated felon and rapist that has pardoned people that tried to beat up and kill cops and let them out of jail to roam free on the streets of our country to make America more secure is, a little bit contradictory, a little bit dumb. I'm not calling you dumb. I'm just calling that action dumb.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing. I mean, we're just talking here. We're just spitting ideas. But another thing I think why I'm so for Trump is like.
Do you mind if you before you say that I thank a couple people?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hitman, thank you so much for the 20 pounds over on YouTube Super Chat. Everybody, please show some love to Hitman down below in that chat. And yo, Adriana, thank you so much for the Future City. I appreciate you for the love, Adriana. Show some love to Hitman and Adriana down below in that chat literally right now, dude. Shout out Hitman and shout out Adriana. Adriana actually sent one of those Future Cities to the gas. I think that they unintentionally donated to the Trump supporter. Whoops. Shout out you. Thank you so much for the love, Adriana. As well as Matthew, thank you for the $33 over on PayPal. Show some love to Matthew down below in that chat right now for the $33. At least 300 Matthew W's. I would also like to add on Kristen with another $60 over on Venmo. Let's get 600 Kristen W's. Can't always count on you and the lives to distract from a shitty day. Plus, you crack me the fuck up. Yeah, dude, I love you, Kristen. I'm happy that I could crack you up. Shout out, Kristen. As well as Tyler with the $50 over on Venmo. Shout out to Tyler down below in that chat literally right now for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much, man. 500 big booms for Tyler. Tyler just says happy Friday. Happy Friday to yourself. As well as Sid with the $25 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Sid. Let's show some love to Sid down below in that chat. Saying Discord wants me to say that Trump's admin wants to make a reality TV show for the people who want to live in the U.S., compete for a visa by traditional American customs. Oh, yeah, that's also worth talking about. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is reportedly considering a TV show with the producers of Tiger King to make immigrants fight, essentially, play the Hunger Games for citizenship. I have a video coming out about it here soon, I think. Victor, you still here, man?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah. So like moving on. I know there's other people who probably want to talk, but
yeah, I think at this point, if that was a natural,
Ross.
Yeah.
You got an echo, Ross. If that was a natural break to your last point, I think I'm gonna go to move on to the next guest. I appreciate you for your time.
All right, no worries, man.
Have a good one. Guys, go ahead and drop a maggot down below in that chat if you would like to come up. And then once again, if you'd like to support me, support the stream, support what we do here for 4 hours a day, you can support me via the Venmo and PayPal in the link in my bio, in the link tree, as well as it's in the pin message over on the YouTube stream. Welcome in, Joseph. How old are you? All right, Joseph is not here. Let's go and get that next guest up in here. Looking for that next guest. What's going on? You said MAGA all day.
Oh yeah, baby. MAGA all day and all night.
Okay, why is that?
Why is that? How? What do you mean, bro? How is it not? First of all, you got the greatest country on earth.
Are you
God's
trolling?
country.
Ah, you are
No.
trolling.
Are you serious?
Was it God's country when like white men enslaved black individuals and treated women
Well, that
as
happened like a
toys?
couple hundred years ago. I'm talking about today's days and age.
I mean, I'm just asking you if it was also God's country then.
It's always been God's country. It's God's earth.
Ah, God's earth. So, okay. I think you're trolling. Hello, the Punch Report.
Yo,
Are you MAGA?
yes.
Tobias, thank you for the $5 over at Venmo. I appreciate you. Then also, what's up, P. Morris? You asked me in the chat why I'm Democrat. Would you like to have a conversation? I could tell you why. P. Morris 27, are you here? Guess not. So, the Punch Report. Why do you support the worst president of your life?
Well, it's not that I'm a huge Trump guy. It's just that in this past election, he's just he was a much better choice than Kamala Harris. She
Oh,
would
why
have
would you
destroyed
ever
this
say-
country.
Why do you ever say something so false and treacherous?
I mean, I used to not be super political, and then I was like almost forced, just the way life is, to pay attention. And when I would listen to her talk, and I know, it's, having a bad speech, like not being able to speak well, is not like determining who's going to be a good president, but she can't even get through like any interview, and it's just like embarrassing. So once I felt that, I was like, okay, at least Trump can continue a sentence and not sound drunk. And then he's kept up on his promises so far. And I'm somebody that could be convinced the other way too. I just look at it as it was Trump versus Kamala, and she would have destroyed this country. Absolutely.
Can't get through an interview. I'm keeping track of this on my YouTube live. I'm putting them up on the phone screen. So you think that Kamala Harris can't get through an interview? That means she's going to destroy America.
No, she
When
just
Donald-
she doesn't have her own thoughts, and that's what I mean by not getting through an interview. It's like she's trying to remember what she was told to say, and that's embarrassing.
Give us all the reasons why you think she's going to destroy America. So the first one is can't get through an interview. What's the next?
Well, the other one is that she's basically telling everyone to. The way that she acts is portraying a way of like just making this country pathetic.
She acts like the U.S. is pathetic. Okay, can you be more specific? What do you mean by that?
She just kind of doesn't have anything. She from me, who used to not be political, she is just not somebody that I would want to run our country. It's pretty simple in black and white. To me.
Okay, sir. With all due respect, you're saying it's simple, but you can't tell me why. So you said she was pathetic. You said it's simple. Be very clear. Why was she pathetic?
Well, one of the first things is when she's trying to explain why we should let like everyone into this country. She doesn't explain why that's a good thing, and then on top of that, why would I want to let everyone in our country? Trump's trying to.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just writing down what you're saying.
So I just don't. I have a big family, and I don't want my family to worry about illegals in this country.
Okay, can we just sum this up? Can we sum this point up by saying that she supports open borders?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what's the next point?
Well, I mean, there's so many reasons not to like her.
I want to know every single reason why you think she's going to destroy America. So far, we can't get through an interview, and she supports open borders. Continue.
Well, I mean, the open border thing is a huge one because that already was enough for me to be like, okay, what the fuck is happening in this country?
Okay, so what's the next one?
There's many reasons. I mean, I would
Okay,
want
so
to
then
talk
go through
about
them. I'm being dead ass. I'm writing them down.
I know. I'm being genuine too. I want to I could go to the next point. I want to hear your thoughts on the.
I want you to be able to say all the points. Say it. What's the next one? So far we can't get through an interview, and she supports open borders, and that's huge.
I know, but I understand, but I just want to know why.
I'm okay, sir. I've been trying to be nice, but I'm going to be assertive. This is my fucking life. Okay.
No, I understand. And
I want you to give all the reasons why you think she's going to destroy America. So far, we have two. Can't get through an interview and supports open borders. What's the third?
I mean, those two are enough for me not to want to vote for her.
Okay, so is there not to vote for her, but to destroy America? Because you said she wants to destroy America, and I'm asking you for your reasons why you think she's going to destroy America. Are those 2 reasons enough to destroy America?
Yeah, those are definitely enough.
Okay. Wow. So it looks like after 10 minutes of garbled nonsense, we have yielded 2 claims, 2 reasons why Kamala Harris was.
There's more than that, but those are the main 2.
So then, what the fuck are they?
Well, let's focus on those 2.
Nope.
Because it's an endless list.
I want you to continue. I want you to continue.
I mean, can we start with those though?
No.
Why?
Why? Because as soon as
those
I
are
defeat
those are
you're just
extremely
going to
valid.
say, but there's other
Those
reasons
are extremely
too.
valid. Like those are things that I would like to
PR,
hear your
as soon as I
response to.
defeat those, you're going to go, but there's other reasons too.
No, I would like to hear your thoughts on those, just because I don't know like your stance on that well.
Okay, sure. Real quick. Your first point was saying that she can't get through an interview. When she debated Trump on the debate stage, she crushed him so fucking hard that he started being this crazy conspiracy theorist and had alleged that she was wearing an earpiece, having other people tell her what to say. Meanwhile, it's just a standard Tiffany earring. So that first point is null. We'll go ahead and cross that out. Say Dean bunked, just writing that down. Dean bunked. If she can't get through an interview and that was going to destroy America, well, obviously Trump was worse because she crushed him so hard in the quote-unquote interview that.
I mean, you're taking my words literally, though. Like, what I mean by that is it's kind of obvious. She's almost everything that she talked in, she sounded drunk.
Okay, so it's no longer Dean bunked. So the new claim is not that she can't get through an interview. Obviously, she could publicly speak. In fact, she's so good at publicly speaking that she embarrassed the fuck out of Trump when they debated. But the first claim is rather she sounds drunk. Okay, so far now we've revised the points already. See, this is why I said it was important for you to get it all out at once.
Well, I'm not revising my
shift
points.
Yes, you are. You're saying that she sounds drunk.
Now you're speaking for me.
I'm not speaking for you. I'm literally writing down what you're saying.
I never said I was revising my points.
So now it's about. Is it just about overall incompetence?
Like she does. So now what?
Is it about overall incompetence?
I mean, that's all meshed into one. It's pretty obvious to me what Kamala was, and I'm not a huge Trump guy, but it was just so obvious to go with him this election.
Okay. So then we're just gonna revise your first point into she sounds drunk, she's incompetent, she's stupid. Are you ready for me to debunk that?
But I mean, I'm saying I'm not revising my first point. I'm just adding to my first point.
Okay, well, this is why I wanted you to get it all out at once, and you said, well, let's start there. So I don't want you to...
No, you can continue now.
Okay, got it. Are you going to revise these 2 points at all anymore?
I might add to them if I think of anything else. I'm not going to revise anything.
Great. So your first point is she sounds drunk, she's incompetent, she's stupid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So she's literally infinitesimally more intelligent than Donald Trump. And when I say infinitesimally, I think that means a small amount. But what I mean to say is a very large amount. In fact, she's so much more intelligent than Trump that she ran on policy that was good for Americans that he didn't even have. Think housing affordability policy. She had policy to make houses less expensive for Americans. Donald Trump didn't even run in it. His policy makes houses less expensive for Americans. She's so much more intelligent than Trump that she had some healthcare policy. She wanted to limit the amount that any American citizen could pay for private out-of-pocket pharmaceutical drugs to $2,000 per year. Donald Trump simply has concepts after 8 years. Not to mention that if Donald Trump was significantly more intelligent than her, she wouldn't have whooped his ass at the presidential debate. If Donald Trump was significantly more intelligent than her, then she would be the one that has told 30,000 lies in 4 years, not him. If Donald Trump was significantly more intelligent than her, then she would have been the one that tried to literally rig and install herself as the president after she lost an election. But no, that was Trump in 2020. So first point, once again, debunked.
Can I ask you like one simple question? At the end of Trump's presidency, will you be able to look back and give him credit for like anything at all that he does? I'm curious just because
we call this a straw man.
Well, I mean, I'm just curious just because I don't know your stance on these things.
I'm not willing to entertain your straw man. I want you to respond to the fact that I debunked your first point. Or would you like me to go on to debunking your second point too? He left. Oh man, I'm having fun. I had a text box open on my YouTube stream, and I was like typing in what he was saying and how I debunked it, keeping track of how the debate was flowing. So that was me being like hyper fucking just hyper formal, with like more formal than I usually am with how I let these conversations flow, and just holding him accountable for the stupid shit that he says to like a very high level by literally writing it down. And it was so brutal that he ran away like a baby. What is going on, Speedy? Do you support Trump?
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I know this isn't your key point. I just want to add.
I'm sorry for kicking you, man. We are just looking for some Trump supporters, but I bet you're an awesome individual. We're going to go and move on to that next guest. Let me know down below in that chat if you would like to come up. And Veteran, thank you for the $50 super chat over on YouTube, saying that was worth at least 50 patient points. Dude, everybody, please show some love to Veteran down below in that chat, literally right now. Thank you so much for the love, Veteran. We all love you here. Huge W's to Veteran down below. Then Tobias, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Echo with the $5 as well. Then P with a $1. Let's go and get that next guest up here. Go to Jump Maggot down below in that chat if you would like to come up here and debate. But let me tell you, people have not been having a good time with that today. They've not been getting lucky. They have not been getting lucky. Also, I'd like to put it out there, if you would like to support me, support the stream, and I highly recommend you support me over on Venmo and PayPal, just because on TikTok as well as on YouTube Super Chats, that TikTok and YouTube take like 60%. Meanwhile, I get 100% of all the proceeds from Venmo and PayPal. So I do appreciate you guys so much. Let's go and get that next guest up here right now. We got Brendan loading in right now. We are still looking for the next guest. It does not look like there's a whole lot of people that are willing and ready to have a discussion with me. I think that a lot of people are kind of scared after that last conversation, but let's try to find literally just like one person that isn't scared. Let's try to find one person that is not scared. It's quite hard anymore. It's really, truly quite difficult. Everybody is scared. Look at that. Everyone is scared. We got Jacob loading in. Richard Woods. You asked me how old I am. I'm 20. I'd love for you to come up and debate. Hello, Jacob. How old are you?
You can hear me?
Yeah. How old are you? Okay, he's not even here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got some lag, man. Are you driving?
No, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, are you driving?
Yeah, I am, sorry.
Unfortunately, can't be driving on TikTok Live. My bad, man. Moving on. What is up, Mr. Hunter? How we doing? Are you okay? He's leaving too. Gary Reed in the chat calls me a baby. Well, I invited you to the live, Gary Reed. Don't run from a literal child. Where are they at? Where are they at? Where are all the Trump supporters at? It's as if they're not even here. Oh, Gary Reed, look at that. You didn't run. I feel like you're about to leave though.
No, I wasn't gonna leave.
I just, Gary, I already know you. You're gonna run away. You're gonna explode on me. You're gonna be mean, and then you're gonna run away.
I'll try not to do any of that.
Okay, Gary. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think I'm a baby?
Well, because you're 21. I'm 60. You're a baby.
Okay,
you're
so if 21,
you're as young as my two daughters.
So if 21-year-olds are babies, and Donald Trump told a 10-year-old girl that he'd be dating her in 10 years when she was 20 in the 90s, does this mean that Donald Trump intended to date a baby?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard anything about that.
In the 90s, he was walking up an escalator. Meanwhile, a 10-year-old girl is walking down on the other side. He turned to her and he said, I'm going to be dating you in 10 years, which would imply that he'd be dating her at a younger age than I am. And he's also older than you. So in other words, according with your own standard that 21-year-olds are babies, this means that Donald Trump wants to date a literal baby.
Well, I don't know anything about that story. I apologize that I don't, but, well, I just know that, best thing that ever happened to this country.
Was that man that wants to date babies?
No, the man that wants to take care of America.
How does he want to take care of America? By dating babies?
I don't think Trump's ever dated babies.
He said that he wanted to.
No, well, you're just throwing that in there.
What if I gave you proof? What if I gave you a recording?
Okay, give me a recording.
Let's do it. Apparently, like Lord and Savior Jesus 2.0 wants to date babies.
Hey, I love Jesus Christ, our Lord. He is my Savior.
Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Okay, that's kind of wrong. It's kind of wrong.
Oh wait, actually, you want to hear something else? You want to hear something else?
Sure.
Oh man, this one's also really bad. This one's also really bad. Because this was about like 18-year-olds, which would also be babies under your view.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on. The question is, how can it
See, I don't know what complex
some of these
that's.
foreign girls.
Oh, just listen.
Kinda.
Oh, just listen.
No,
Gary.
I don't know where the
Just-
contents of this came from.
The contents. This was off of Howard Stern's radio show. This was April 11th,
Howard Stern.
2005.
Oh my God.
Listen to what Donald Trump says here.
Okay.
Girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And what you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that. So you have done that. Now, I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show. Yes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right, I want to make sure that everything is good. You're there. Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And
By the way, this was Miss Teen USA, teenagers. So he said he dated a baby and boasted about unconsensually walking into the changing rooms of half-naked babies. How does that make you feel?
Not very well, because I remember this. I remember what happened with this, and I don't know if it's true or false. I'm gonna give you the okay to say okay it was true.
Wait, you don't know if it's true or false? You just heard it.
Okay. I told you I don't believe it's true or false. I believe that it's false. I mean, true.
What?
I mean,
Do you think that things that you experience happen?
Wait, listen, wait, time out. Let me finish. Donald Trump is a hoe. I'm a hoe. And no, but I date women my own age.
I'm
a hoe.
Your response to this is just to call Trump
What?
a player?
I'm a player.
So your
Donald
response to
Trump's a
Donald Trump
player.
hitting on a 10-year-old girl is like, oh, he's just a
That
player.
10-year-old girl, come on now. I don't believe that.
I played you the clip. You heard it.
Like, why did you just categorize that as
Or
just
like
being
him like walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls. That's just like man thing. That's a thing that men do when they're players.
No, I would consider that a perv.
Right. My point.
Okay, so but what does that got to do with how he's handling the United States of America and their?
Well,
almost going
I'm sorry
bankrupt?
if he negatively treats women and girls in this country, why do you think that the policy that he's going to be advocating for is going to be beneficial to them?
Most men treat women very bad.
Bro, are you saying most men treat women bad, therefore it's okay for Donald Trump to treat women bad? That's a fucking horrible, disgusting, really
No.
fucking weird justification that you just tried to provide. Gary,
not
what the hell is
saying
wrong
that.
with you?
It sounds like
Was
good
not
reason to
saying
not-
that.
Gary, that like honestly, like genuinely speaking, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know. I just think I'm a patriot of the United States.
That's
of
not
America.
being a patriot. A patriot is not caring about women and thinking it's okay to disrespect women because most men disrespect women. Maybe you should put it in your own nature to become a better fucking man so that you don't disrespect women and treat women terribly.
Question about the Patriot comment there. If there was like a civilian that like tried to like launch an attack on the Constitution, like very publicly like wanted to lead a cause to call for its termination, like actively violated it, got caught by the court, then didn't care, and just continued to try to violate and eradicate the Constitution, do you think they'd be a patriot?
Look, I don't know. Y'all are twisting my words. I apologize. But I think Donald Trump is the best thing that ever happened to the United States of America.
Gary, are you sentient? Did you hear anything that was said?
Yeah, I didn't even like twist your words. I asked you a question with my words. I just asked
I'm
you
not
like
gonna
somebody,
twist my words.
like a civilian that has like launched a coup and the Constitution explicitly called for its termination,
Okay.
and incessantly
Wait.
violates it
Hey,
almost as
wait.
much as they can. Would they be a patriot too?
Well, all I'm saying is I'm a father of two daughters, gorgeous women.
Terrible.
I know. You know why? Because I treated women bad when I was growing up. I mean, I had more.
I have a question, Gary. Gary, if when one of your daughters was 10 years old, Donald Trump went up to them as a 50-year-old man and said he'd be dating her in 10 years, would you still have voted for him?
Probably not.
Okay, so why are you okay with voting for him if it is the case that it's someone else's daughter?
Because I don't believe they ever. See, the thing is, he might have said.
You don't believe he did it? You heard it. We literally
he might
played
have
it on the
said
mic.
Something, but he never went to go do that.
Oh,
That doesn't mean that. Wait,
wow.
so but you did. Okay, so you would be okay with it if he said it to your daughter, right?
Let me.
No,
Just said it, right?
No, I'd kill him.
Or so let me ask you a question. If somebody threatens to shoot up a school and posts a picture of like an AR in their Instagram story, do you think they should be arrested, or should no like consequence be applied to them since they haven't actually done it?
No, if he had the intent to do it, wipe him out, kill him.
And the best indicator of intent that we have is going to be, like that of what? A vocalized statement saying that they're going to do something in the future.
Well, what about John? What about
Wait. Also, you said that you'd like unalive an old man for hitting on a daughter. What if like your daughter grew up and that old man raped them?
What if my daughter what?
Daughter grew up, they were an adult, and then that old man raped them.
I'd kill him.
Do you know that Donald Trump was adjudicated by unanimous ruling from a court of law to have raped a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll? Are you saying that the father of E. Jean Carroll could justifiably unalive the president and you'd support him?
Well, I would. If it was true, I would. Let him kill him.
Okay, so then why'd you vote for? Do you regret voting for him?
No, I do not regret voting for him.
So you don't regret voting for somebody that you think
so-
could be justifiably unalived?
See, justified.
Dude, I'm just sorry. Like, I don't know how this guy operates.
All I know is
on a daily basis.
Country.
His brain, like, it's just like it's not. It's mush, dude.
Are you talking about mine?
Yeah.
Yes, dude. What is going on, man?
Got a couple people to thank here. MLG, thank you so much for the
That
$10
was-
over on YouTube Super Chat. Same thing with you, LVZ. Thank you guys so much. And then Hitman with the 20 pounds as well. Everybody, please show some love to LVZ, MLG, and Hitman. Thank you guys so much for the love. It's incredibly kind. As well as thank you so much, Hannah, for the $10 over on Venmo. Shout out Hannah. Megan with the $5 on Venmo. Shout out Megan. And then Mr. Ken with the $50 over on Venmo. Holy fuck, Ken. Ken says it's another great day, Dean. Ken, I hope that you're doing all right. We all love you here, Ken. Let's get 500. Ken W's down below in that chat. Seriously, thank you so much, man. Buy me dinner. Holy fuck. Buy me a couple dinners. That's right. Thank you so much, Ken. As well as Emily, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and read out Emily's message here. But let's get 300 W Emily's in the chat. But her message reads, if MAGA realize admitting you're wrong is like the hottest trait a guy can have, they're stuck on repeat, echoing the same tired MAGA TikTok takes over and over. Like, do they even have original thoughts, or is that too much for a girl to ask for in 2025? I actually think that's worth repeating, I will definitely agree that, when a Trump supporter comes up here, makes a point, and then like admits that they were wrong, it makes him look like incredibly respectable, like incredibly fucking respectable. And we even had a guest yesterday, I think their name was Caleb. They came up here arguing like the most insufferable takes ever, that they support Donald Trump trying to coup the Constitution, but they like left for like 10 minutes. They came back and they said that they were wrong and they got destroyed. And then guess what? They were getting W's from everybody in the chat. So, I mean, it really does show that changing your mind can be very valuable. But go ahead.
Who are you speaking with?
You.
Oh my goodness. Look, all I know is that if you think that Joe Biden was such a great president for 4 years with an open border, come on, dude. Come on, brother.
Shut up, your talking points suck. Get the fuck out of my stream. Goodbye, Gary. Oh my God.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Dean.
Drew.
Afternoon, gentlemen.
Give me a second here, Mr. John, Mr. John Shepard.
That was nuts.
I need a second here. Holy fuck, Drew with the $500 super chat on YouTube. I think that is single-handedly the largest super chat I have ever received on the platform. Oh my God.
You deserve it, bro.
You're young and you're doing this. I respect that. You deserve it. Next time.
It's very kind of you, Mr. John. Drew, with the $500 super chat, says, thanks for not tolerating insanity and for pushing illogical nonsense and bigotry back under the rock where it belongs. Please enjoy the weekend on me. Drew, I'm going to take my girlfriend out to the nicest fucking dinner. Oh my God.
Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory is pretty good. I actually really
They have a
like
banging
it
steak.
I want everybody in here to show so much fucking love to Drew in the chat, man. I do not deserve that at all. I don't even know how to vocalize in words how thankful and grateful I am for your incredible generosity and kindness. That is seriously fucking insane, man. I do not deserve that at all. Thank you so much for the love. The best I could do to give you a vocal acknowledgement of your kindness is to have the chat spam W fucking Drew for at least the next 30 minutes. I'm so serious. Show Drew some love down below in the chat as we're talking to John here. Everybody, please show Drew the G some love down below in that chat. Thank you so much, Drew. Holy fuck, John.
You deserve it, dude. Seriously.
Take it away, man. I'm just serious. That's so fucking crazy.
Well, I'm 37 years old, from Florida. I'm Hispanic, veteran, first generation American. I voted for Donald J. Trump. And I got to say, I've been dying to talk to both of you guys. Here's the reason why. You guys are so young, but you guys are in the political system. Your conversation, you're having that communication. And that's what we need in this country, the youth. And that's what you and Parker are doing. And I'm a Republican. I'm a Trumper. I'm very liberal when it comes to social issues, though. But I'm so happy that you and Parker are doing what you're doing. Yeah, and we may disagree on a lot of stuff, but the fact that you guys are just so young and you're into this, I mean, it's awesome. I wish our youth would do it
John,
more often.
I appreciate that, man. That's incredibly kind of you. You seem open-minded, and I think I have a really good open mind. A really good thing I'd like to run by you as an open-minded veteran. Is that all right?
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, you took an oath to uphold the American Constitution. It was a part of your admittance into the military. I think the biggest gripe that many liberal veterans, or in my mind, patriotic veterans, that we see in America today with the current president is his staunch anti-constitutional approach to legislating or achieving a means to his end. I think that we've seen too many examples where Donald Trump has been in a situation where he wanted to do something but couldn't do it because the Constitution limited him from doing it, where he did it anyways. Right?
That's fair.
The biggest example is the 2020 election. Other examples is his deportation of Rodrigo Garcia, his enactment of the Alien Enemies Act, his deportation of undocumented migrants in the droves without granting them due process, even when federal judges rule that he can't. His executive order striking down birthright citizenship that was overturned less than a month later because it was unconstitutional, as if reading the 14th Amendment wasn't clear enough, right?
And just like his the thingy with because I'm first generation American, technically I consider an anchor baby. I call with Trump balls and strikes.
But I think that these gripes, if you still yet choose to support him, even with these facts presented to yourself, that you are breaking the oath that you took. And I think that extends a little bit beyond the sentiment of breaking an oath, the sentiment of retracting something you once were adamant about. And it more so just kind of shows how politics and modern American history has gotten to the point where we're somehow able to convince veterans that fought to protect the Constitution that this guy that has fought to destroy it for the last 8 years is the right man for the job. And I just deny that.
Well, I think it's open to interpretation. I mean, it's perspective versus perception. There are things that I'd like that Trump's doing. There are things that I don't like that he's doing. Prime example, I'll give you an example of something that I don't like what he's doing with the military. I'm a veteran. I went to Iraq in 2009, 2010. I have no problem with trans soldiers serving. I don't think they should be kicked out, period. If you're trans and you want to serve the military, as long as you're deployable within that first year, which is across the board for everybody who's in medical or have anything to do with medical, you should stay in the service. I think Trump is wrong on what he's doing. I get why he's doing. He's following a campaign promise, just like he did with the whole the citizenship, birthright citizenship. It pisses me off because I'm a birthright citizenship person. I get it. He's going through the motions. He's checking the box. Hey, I said what I'm going to do. He's going to fail on it. And I think a lot of the stuff he's doing truly is just to check off the box and say, hey, I did it. I got shot down in the courts. And I think that's
why did he campaign on it in the first place?
I don't know, to be honest with you. There are things, like I said, there are things that I like about Trump.
Because he wants it to happen. He's not just merely checking off a box. He's trying to do something that he wants to happen.
No, I agree. And again, he wants to get the border under control, and I think he did it without having to do any legislation. Now I think he needs to rein back his I'm just going to come out and say it, the craziness. I think he needs to rein back the stuff that he wanted to do in terms of like,
John, I have a question.
Yes,
so
sir.
so what particular, like what you just mentioned are horrible things Donald Trump has done. You've acknowledged Donald Trump has done horrible things. What things apparently make up for it?
Overall, it's just the message. I mean, what happened for me was the election. I'm not a fan of how they treated Vice President Kamala Harris, and I'm going to keep calling her Vice President because she deserves that. It's no offense to you guys or anything. I just think it's the Democratic Party brokers, how they basically just destroyed her. And they keep blaming her for the election. I personally think Joe Biden should have stand down like he said he was going to and allowed her to have that full election cycle. But they didn't. The way they treated her was horrible. And her having that 100 days, yeah, she may have had $1 billion, but she only had 100 days to try to beat Trump. I still think overall he would have won the election, but just how they treated her, for me, is not a good thing. And I think it was very unconstitutional how they forced out President Joe Biden at the same time.
I asked you, like, what specific things about Donald Trump make up for all of the horrible attributes that you've acknowledged?
Before you go on to that, I'm just going to add on one more bad thing. You said you served in Iraq, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's like framed as like a broader part of like the war on terror that it was a direct consequence of 9/11, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Qatar had involvement in orchestrating 9/11. That's a historical fact. You just got a $400 million jet from them.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it feel that the president of America is accepting a $400 million gift from a country that was directly involved in an orchestrated terror attack that led to you and your brothers and your sisters putting your lives on the line?
Well, the 9/11 terrorists came from Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Iran. Make sure of that, not Qatar. Now, Qatar does have a bad history.
Of 9/11.
Hey, trust me. Look, doesn't Qatar host the Taliban? I mean, again, they're shady as hell too. But right now,
Donald Trump also wants to make allies with Saudi Arabia.
Oh, we got to. We have to, for stability reasons. We have to. You know, they have a lot of money, and I'd rather get along with our enemies than have to fight them. Because guess what? No offense to you, gentlemen. I'm not deranging the fact that you guys never served.
Can you get along with Qatar without accepting a $400 million bribe from them?
Yeah, I think you can. And again, like I said, I think, remember, there's good Trump, there's bad Trump. Do I think he needs that plane? No, absolutely not. And I think right now, truly, the only reason why he's going to keep it is just to troll and cause news. 1 minute it's this, next week it's going to be something else that Trump does. Oh my God, look at he did this. No, I agree with you. He should not take it. Personally, I would not. If I was an advisor of him, I'd be like, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
But again,
all right. So it seems like we've agreed on a lot of bad things he does. I guess we'll just go back to Parker's question. What is a good thing he's done?
What good things or quote unquote great things under your perspective make up for all of the bad things we've acknowledged exist in terms of his character and policy?
Like, honestly, the last 4 years, I've been called, I'm Hispanic. I've been called a traitor, this, that, so on and so forth. And I've been called racist because I love my country and I salute the flag. I had a flag on my dang car. People were saying, "Hey, you're racist."
So
I just feel like
what has Trump done that's good?
I'm getting into it. I'll land my plane. Being able to say you're proud to be an American, I feel like that's what Trump is trying to do, and that's what resonates me the most when it comes to him. I want to be.
You can't be proud to be an American when you have a guy in the position of presidency who was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, that undermine the integrity of the election, that denies basic scientific facts like climate change is real and it's negatively impacting human sustainability on the planet. Like literally, dude, this guy thinks that the climate's going to start cooling and that science just doesn't know it yet. He denies basic science. He put people in the administration that are heavily underqualified for the position. Jesus Christ, don't even get started on that. Right, and after literally claiming that Democrats do that only.
Parker, we can talk about Joe President.
How could a traitor make you proud to be American?
It's not that he's a traitor, guys. That's politics. That's what you guys are saying. He's not. Joe Biden's not a traitor. President Obama's not a traitor. President Bush is not a traitor. Again, this is just politics.
Wait.
How is Kamala Harris a traitor?
I never said she was.
I think he said that specifically that he wasn't. How is calling for the termination of the Constitution not make you a traitor?
Again, he didn't. Did he say that word for word?
Yes.
Yes, he called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution.
I've never seen that video. I've never heard it. I watched CNN.
It was a tweet. Look up Trump terminate Constitution.
Would you like me to read it off to you?
Yeah.
Well, can you show it to me? Can you do that little window thingy? I don't have enough followers to do that, so I'm very.
So I can't show it to you. I could read it to you, and you can fact check me.
Gotcha. I'll have to fact check you after this chat, but let's just say, for argument's sake, let's just say you're correct. Just to kind of move the conversation.
So then why does calling for the termination of the Constitution make you a traitor?
I don't think he said that personally.
Bro.
But it
You
is what
just
it
said that you'd
is.
assume that I'm correct.
I'm just going to assume you're correct. If he
So
said
then
that,
why?
he's wrong.
Okay.
He's wrong.
So assuming he said
What was
that,
that?
why doesn't calling for the termination of the Constitution make you a traitor?
You got me on the god. You got me. I can't really rebuttal on that.
It's not a
I
gotcha.
don't-
It's just like a genuine.
No, I know. I
question.
said
You're
you got
saying
me
that
on it.
he's
No,
not a
see,
traitor, that he's
I
calling-
don't have.
So he is a
I
traitor.
don't have a rebuttal.
So he
That's
is a
your
traitor.
opinion. I don't think he's a traitor. I don't. He took a bullet for us. I don't think he's a traitor.
He took a bullet for you?
Dude, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Dude,
Took a
he didn't like
bullet.
intentfully engage in any action that would have led to him doing that for like the country.
Yeah,
it
running for
happened to
president.
occur to him, and then he used it as a political message in order to be able to get votes.
Are you sure about that? Because honestly,
Yes.
it was kind of an American moment.
What? What do you mean?
Thank God he didn't die. I mean, it's
Wait,
kind of
wait,
an
You're like
American
you're like it's okay that he's a sexual abuser.
wait.
It's
I
okay
don't
that he
believe-
hurts the country. It's
don't
okay
believe
that he
sexual
undermines
abuse.
the integrity of our democracy,
don't
our
believe-
rule of law, our
it's
constitution, right,
perception.
and like core American values that we hold to, right? He like a bullet grazed his ear, right?
Wait.
And he put his hand up in the sky and said, "America, fight, fight, fight."
Good,
And
right?
you know what? He
So not
gets
an
the
American
vote,
moment?
regardless of all of those horrible things and being
how
a
did you
traitor
feel
to the
about it?
country.
Wait.
How did you feel about it, Parker?
Wait.
Just
So
generally
if
curious.
he wasn't shot in the ear, you'd agree with me that he's a traitor?
I don't think he's a traitor, sir, at all. I don't think anyone
But
politics.
so
It's
I want
perception versus perspective.
I want you to respond.
Yes, sir.
I think that Donald Trump is a traitor to America for many reasons. The biggest reasons are the fact that he tried to coup
Good morning, ma'am.
our civil and electoral processes. He launched the largest internal attack on the American democracy and tried to install himself as president. If he was successful in his plan, but failed because of his vice president, he would have silenced the voice and the vote of every American. Okay? When this plan failed, he then went on to call for the termination of the American Constitution. If these two actions don't make you a traitor, what does make you a traitor?
I don't think he did those things. That's your perception.
He has admitted to both of those things. So he admitted
You're
to
not-
trying to rig the outcome of the election in 2020. Okay.
Oh, he lost that one.
So great. So he admitted to trying to rig it. His argument is that it was stolen from him, so he tried to steal it back. That's what he argued to the Supreme Court. That's what he argued to the two indictments in Congress. And you could see Will Sharp.
And there was no evidence that he won the election. Do you think that Donald Trump won the 2020 election?
He just admitted
No.
that
Like
he lost.
rightfully?
He just admits.
No,
he
I
just admit that he
Yeah,
lost.
he lost. Full hands down. Joe Biden won.
So John.
Or excuse me, President Joe Biden won.
So John.
So then he was trying to coup the country, and you agree?
He admitted to all these things. His current lawyer.
He was a sore loser.
That's just not just being a sore loser. That's trying to organize people in order to undermine the integrity of basic fundamental aspects of our legal system.
Yeah.
Hey, Flambini just called me a one of your people just said
John,
stolen
John, you could
valor.
say that he tried to. Like, you could say that he launched the biggest internal attack on the American democracy because he's a sore loser. But like my statement is trying to install himself as president and void the vote of every American and calling for the termination of the Constitution is like possibly like one of the most traitorous things that anybody's ever done.
Then, in your opinion, and I'm generally curious, Parker and Dean, why did he win then? Why did you guys Democrats lose the
So you're
election?
sh-
I'm
well,
generally curious.
Well, yeah,
Because people
of-
attributed
Sorry if I'm
inflation to the
pivoting.
incumbent
Sorry
president.
if I'm pivoting. I'm sorry. I'm just generally curious on your guys' opinion.
Answer,
for it, Dean.
dude. Yeah, stop pivoting. Fucking like it's so annoying.
Hey,
If trying to coup the results of an election, okay, silence the voice and the vote of every American, every single American, okay, right, and call for the termination of the Constitution does not constitute a traitor, then what does? I'm being serious. I want an
I didn't say that.
actual question. I want an
I
actual answer to my
do
question.
not
I
think he did
actually
that.
I actually want you to answer the question.
Parker, I don't.
If
Excuse me.
this doesn't make you a traitor.
Dean,
So if he did do that,
I
would he
do
be a
not
traitor?
think he did it.
If
If
he-
he did do it,
If he did
yeah,
do
I
those
think
things,
he
would he
did
be a
it.
traitor?
Oh, absolutely. But see, again, that's where the military would rise up.
Okay, so all that I need
Our
to
office of
do.
the Constitution.
So John, are you saying all I need to do is provide you certain evidence that he did those things, and you'd agree with me? And
I don't
concede
think
that
he
he's a
did it.
traitor? So you're saying
Again,
if,
I don't
what-
think,
if I
because
if I
he's
gave
not, he's not president.
if I gave you
He
if I gave
wasn't
you
president in 2020.
if I gave you certain evidence of this occurring, would you believe me?
No, I don't think so. Sorry.
Yeah,
Politics.
that's why you're a fucking
No.
traitor too. That's why you're a
What?
fucking traitor too. I just said if I gave you certain
wait,
evidence,
let's
if I gave you
clarify
certain
then.
evidence that this occurred, you wouldn't believe it. You're a member of a cult.
Don't call me
Wait,
that. I'm
wait,
very
John,
liberal.
John. If it was
I've
the
been
case
nothing
that
but
I could,
respectful to you.
John, if I could prove to you
You're
for
better
one-
than that.
if I could prove to you, if I could prove to you for 100% fact, right? Would you believe it?
I don't believe that he did it.
No, I'm
Personally,
just saying, if I could prove to you for 100% fact, would you believe it?
I don't know, man. To be honest with you.
You don't know?
You don't know
I'm
if
sorry.
you believe something that is
like,
certainly true?
Like John, I just want to let you know how incredibly dishonest that is. If it's 100% the case, it's like it's like water being wet. You know what I mean? Or like the sun coming up in the morning. Okay, it's going to happen 100%. Okay, and you're denying that. And you're saying, you know what? I don't know if I could believe that the sun's gonna come up tomorrow morning.
Basically, all that Parker's saying is, if I could prove it to be true, would you believe that it's true?
Hey, he was duly elected. Again,
answer my question. If I could prove it to be true, would you believe it to be true? No, actually, quite frankly, John, I'm not going to lower my tone from you. I'd stop requesting things that I'm not going to give to you. If I could prove it to be true, would you believe it to be true?
I don't think Donald Trump was a traitor.
If I could prove it to be true, would you believe it to be true?
I do not think you can prove it either. Sorry. I do not believe Donald Trump is a traitor.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and prove it. So here's Will Scharf, his personal attorney, talking about how, yes, it was an official act of his presidency when he installed alternative slates of electors in the 2020 election to correct the outcome, is what they call it. Because they say that Biden stole it from him. So when they try to steal it back, they're merely correcting it. So let's go ahead and listen to Will Scharf, his personal attorney that represented him in the Supreme Court in this case, that represented him in front of Congress in this case, and in fact still represents him today. Let's go ahead and hear what he has to say.
The Immune Acts and the indictment are stripped away, that Jack Smith doesn't have a case, that this case should be dismissed on that basis. I don't think there's sufficient private conduct here to support the indictment, to support the ongoing prosecution. And that's what we're going to be litigating in front of the district court now.
Even just the false slates of electors, you don't think that would constitute enough for a trial?
Well, we would say alternate slates of electors. And as we argued before the Supreme Court, alternate slates of electors have been a method used by previous presidents, most notably Ulysses S. Grant, to ensure the integrity of prior elections. So we believe the assembly of those alternate slates of electors was an official act of the presidency. That's what we argued before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has reserved.
So there you have it. You just heard his own lawyer say that he installed fake votes for himself in Congress to make sure that the valid, real results of the election were protected, that Trump
Why wasn't he
Biden
prosecuted
lost.
then?
Because
Why
it was
wasn't he
ruled as
prosecuted?
an official act of his presidency, and that held it off until he was made president again, and he fired Jack Smith.
Very interesting.
I'm
actually going to have to research that, actually. Very interesting.
So, John, all legal claims and persecution that were attempted to be brought forth on Donald Trump were not on if he did it or not. Because as you just heard, they admit that he did it. They just argued that he should be immune from criminal responsibility since he did it when he was president. So I've now provided you with certain evidence that he tried to rig the 2020 election.
Again, like I said, I still don't think he was trying to commit treason. Sorry.
Okay, John.
I'm sorry.
I do just want to clarify this one thing.
Yes, sir.
He did say that he wouldn't accept it to be true if you could prove it for 100% to be the case. That is by definition what it means to be a cult member. Like I do just want to acknowledge that, because you literally are saying there's an impossibility of the contrary, right? And you're still saying, right, you won't accept it.
Yeah, John.
Gentlemen, I get where you guys are coming from. I mean, again, you guys are a lot better at debating and talking than I am. I don't feel like Donald Trump is a traitor to our country. I really don't.
Here's I think the right question. Here's a right question I want to be asking you. The clip that I just played, that proved that Donald Trump tried to rig the 2020 election, right?
Yeah, I gotta give you a little credit. It kind of gets getting me to think a little bit more. I'll give you that. I don't know.
Could you either affirm or deny that?
I don't know. I have to research it.
What do you mean you don't know? I played you a clip of
I
his
don't
person.
know.
What research do you do?
Because I just want to go over what Will Scharf, his own attorney, said in that clip.
I don't know.
So we're gonna listen to it again, and then I'm gonna evaluate it afterwards. Are you?
Can I
ready?
ask you guys questions too, or no?
No, not right now.
Previous presidents, most notably.
Here we go.
Even just the false slates of electors, you don't think that would constitute enough for a trial?
False slates of electors.
Well, we would say alternate slates of electors. And as we argued before the Supreme Court, alternate slates of electors have been a method used by previous presidents, most notably Ulysses S. Grant, to ensure the integrity of prior elections. So we believe the assembly of those alternate slates of electors was an official act of the presidency. That's what we argued before the Supreme Court.
There was three things. Just listen to me. Don't interrupt me. There's three things we just learned there. We learned that they like to call them alternate slates of electors. Okay. We learned that they use these quote unquote alternate slates of electors to ensure the integrity of the outcome of the election. Okay. And then we learned that they're labeling this an official act of the presidency, the president being Trump. So in other words, they're saying that Trump did it. So what they're saying Trump did was he used non-verified, fictitious, fake votes for himself. Those alternate slates of electors is what they call them, to ensure the integrity of the outcome of the 2020 election. John, be honest. One word, one name, answer this following question. According to Trump, who won 2020?
Oh, Trump himself.
So according to Trump, if the outcome of the election was to have integrity, he would have won, right? So basically, when they say that they use these fake votes to ensure the integrity of the election, they're saying that they use these fake votes to ensure that Trump won.
Yeah, political maneuvering.
Right?
I disagree.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So far, we've learned that they use fake votes to ensure that Trump won. Okay. And they called this an official act of the presidency. Who was the president?
At the time, President Trump.
Trump. So this was an official act of Trump. So here's what we know, and here's what you've agreed to: is that they used fake votes to ensure that Trump won, and this was an official act of Trump. Okay. So all these three things are true, right?
Your interpretation.
I'm asking you if you agree with my interpretation based upon what Will Scharf just shared with us.
From what you're saying, yes.
From what Will Scharf said.
From what you're saying.
What about what Will Scharf said in that clip I played twice?
I don't know, man. Again, like I said, I have to research.
Okay, well, I played you the clip. You don't need to research because I played you his own voice.
John, I have a question. If Kamala Harris did the same thing, would you say she's a traitor?
I don't know. I have to research.
He's just gonna say they has to research, sir. What do you have to research? I just played you the clip. We're merely John. We're merely talking about.
You are better order than I am.
John, we're merely talking about what Will Scharf just said.
Okay. Again, 2020 is 4 years ago.
John, stop it. You're merely talking about what Will Scharf just said in this clip. I'm going to replay the clip.
I have a perfect question. Like, ask him.
Fine, ask the question, but then I'm going to replay the clip.
Replay it all day long. Okay, like I said.
What evidence? John. Yes, what evidence would you accept?
Right. I don't. Again, Donald Trump is not a traitor to his country.
He's not going to answer the question. So, John, at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replay the clip, and I want you to interpret what Will Scharf is saying. Okay, I'm going to replay the clip. Once it's done, I'm not going to say anything, and I want you to interpret it. Here we go.
The gotcha question.
To support the indictment, to support the ongoing prosecution, and that's what we're going to be litigating in front of the district court now.
Even just the false slates of electors, you don't think that would constitute enough for a trial?
Well, we would say alternate slates of electors. And as we argued before the Supreme Court, alternate slates of electors have been a method used by previous presidents, most notably Ulysses S. Grant, to ensure the integrity of prior elections. So we believe the assembly of those alternate slates of electors was an official act of the presidency. That's what we argued before the Supreme Court.
Okay, interpret what you just said and repeat it to me.
To me, I think he's just trying to have other secondary delegates to try to vote for Trump, pretty much. Kind of like unfaithful delegate kind of thing. That's my interpretation of it. And again, I'm very limited on it, so I don't know what the whole thing is about. I have to research it.
Okay. Were the secondary delegates authorized by the governor's office of
I'm going to say Trump's a traitor because he's not.
Okay, would you say that the further research you'd have to do is to see if these secondary delegates were authorized by the states?
I don't know. I just have to do the whole research for everything. Dean, I can't take your word for it. I'm sorry.
But
what evidence would you accept?
I don't know. I have to research.
Bro, listen. So you just said no, John. You just said that Trump had these secondary delegates vote for him in Congress. Okay, right?
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know the whole situation.
So if these secondary delegates were not authorized by the states and did not represent the true vote of the state, that's Trump trying to steal the election, right?
Not trying to change up the thing. He wanted 10,000 votes in Georgia, I believe. That's the
John. If these secondary delegates that you just referenced weren't authorized by any of the states and didn't represent the true votes of the states, that's Trump trying to steal the election, right?
Oh, I guess so.
So if I could prove to you that they weren't authorized by the vote, by the states, I
don't think he's a traitor.
John, if I could prove to you that they weren't authorized by the states, you'd admit that he tried to steal the election.
I don't know. Again, like I said,
but you just said that would prove it.
I don't know.
You just said that you do know. You just said that, yes, I would prove it.
You're never going to get me to say Trump's a traitor because he's not.
Hey, John, guess what? I think that you're a spineless fool. I think you stand for nothing.
I've been nothing but respectful to you.
And you've been nothing but disrespectful to the entirety of the country, you absolute spineless fool. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you exactly how it is. I think you're a spineless fool that stands for nothing. You are not just complacent, but actively an advocation of the downfall of this country. When you come on this live and tell us that you
My
fought in
veterans.
Iraq, you probably saw brothers and sisters die. You probably saw people die to defend the Constitution, die to defend the American Constitution, and die to uphold respect and preservation of this country. And here you are, 14 years later, acting like a spineless, traitorous fool, as if there is not any amount of proof in the world that could demonstrate to you that what Donald Trump's own attorney is saying is true. I've been able to walk you to baseline, rudimentary conclusions. You accept that they had alternative slates of electors. You accept that they're not organized or chartered by the states. You accept it's an official act of Trump. And you accept that they were trying to achieve a fictitious result of the election, that being that Trump won and Biden lost, in which you admit is not true. And yet you cannot sit here and say that this is an example of Trump trying to steal the election. You're nothing more than a member of the cult. You actively regress American society. You do not do good for this country. You do harm. Okay? And those are the facts. In the day that you can open your mind and recognize that what I'm saying is true, I will take back everything that I said.
Been nothing but respectful to you, dude.
And you've been nothing but disrespectful to our country.
Respectful to you. I have not demeaned you, not degraded you. Listen, I'm Hispanic American. I'm a veteran. You want to call me a traitor? That's fine. That is your constitutional right to free speech, and I fully support it. You have your views.
I've not been disrespectful to you because you've been disrespectful to me. I've been disrespectful to you because you've been disrespectful to the country.
You're a good kid. I'm proud of that you're doing this whole election thing. I disagree with what you're saying, but I am proud of you, and I want you to know that. You can be rude to me. It's fine. I will not disrespect you because honestly, we need more people like you.
John, I'm going to repeat it one last time. I've not been disrespectful to you because you've been disrespectful to me. I've been disrespectful to you because you've not only been disrespectful for our country, but you've opened the door and allowed fascism to walk in.
No, you're good, dude. You're good. I just want you to know, keep doing what you're doing. Even if we disagree, keep doing what you're doing. You won this debate.
John, the one thing I would say is that like you should open your mind to just saying that like if you have 100% evidence to believe something to be true, that it's true, right?
I just will not call.
And that's just like an objective fact, right?
Just like Joe Biden, right? President Joe Biden, he's not a traitor either. It's politics, gentlemen. That's all it is.
What does 100% mean?
Huh?
100% means in all cases.
I understand that, but again, like I said,
if it means in all cases, well, then there's an impossibility of the contract. You're saying that you believe something impossible.
But gentlemen, Parker, if he did that, let's just say he's guilty of what you guys said, then why did he win then, Parker, in your opinion?
Because people like you.
No, I'm asking Parker.
No, and I'm telling you because of people like you.
Because that's one part of it. Secondly, it'd be because people attributed inflation to the incumbent president, right?
Mhm.
But people bought the lies of Donald Trump. That is a huge, huge reason.
I mean, think about it, John. I've been able to provide you certain evidence that he tried to steal the 2020 election.
You're a better orator.
Hey, John,
than
don't
I am.
interrupt me. Wait your turn. Think
well,
about it,
you
John.
called me a
I've been
traitor,
able,
that's
yeah,
fine.
and I'll call you a traitor again. Just don't interrupt me.
That's fine. That's fine.
Now
A
you're
white guy
getting
calling a
annoying
Hispanic
traitor.
guy traitor.
Yes, absolutely. I am calling an Hispanic man John
Isn't
a
this
traitor.
why you're
110%. Anyways, don't interrupt me.
Didn't you run
I'm
American
being so
for-
serious. You're doing the interruption again. I'll wait for you to finish. You can speak as soon as I'm done. You asked for other reasons why Trump won the election. And I said because of people like you. The reason I said that is very specific. Okay? I provided you certain evidence that he tried to steal 2020, and guess what? You say, I don't care. No, he didn't. Yeah, that's what won him the election, John. I played you a clip of his lawyer saying he tried to steal the election. You say, I don't care. No, he didn't. That's what won him the election.
Yeah, again, if something's 100% likely to be the case, well, then you should accept it. And the fact that you couldn't accept something that would be 100% likely to be the case, right, is evidence that you, right, don't care about any of the evidence. You don't care about any of the facts. The research would mean nothing. You're going to believe it regardless.
Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, it is what it is. I mean, you're a better orator debater than I am. I'm very novice when it comes to it. I really appreciate this, though. I mean, I thought Parker was the mean one, but hey, I guess it's Dean. But this was a good debate. Dean, sorry if I upset you, bud.
Wow. Call me mean because
Well,
I
no,
want to hold
come
people
on, you called me
accountable.
a traitor. I mean, come on, dude. That's wrong. I would never do that to you.
Sorry.
That's just wrong.
Hey,
you lose the narrative.
Hey, man.
I have a thick skin, but just calling someone a traitor just because of different political beliefs. I mean, for example, when it comes to me, I'm very liberal. I don't know if you heard that like 30,000 times. When it comes to Roe v. Wade, fully support, trans, fully support, gay marriage, fully support. But then you're calling me traitor. I mean, I just think that you're better than that. I
John,
think for
one
you,
question.
your followers are a lot better. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
John, one question.
Go ahead.
If you're in 6th grade and somebody punches you in the face and you call them a bully, are you being mean?
I don't know.
No, you're not being mean. That's the answer, right?
I just think calling someone a traitor, I mean, that's just wrong.
Okay, well, now you're being annoying because you're not even following what I'm saying. If you're in 6th grade and somebody punches you in the face and you call them a bully, are you being mean?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Why don't you think so? Because they are a bully. Is that because like the statement they're a bully is true, right? So it's not mean.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, do you want to know what my parallel is here?
For your development, I think that you calling people, especially
stop ignoring what I'm saying and actually engage with it.
No, it's just like that, dude. I'm not a spineless fool.
Yes, you are. You're not even engaging in like the most simple argument ever. Like engage
off.
with my because you're not engaging with my argument. Engage with what I'm saying. Learn from what I'm saying. Like unironically, John. All you got to do here is just like engage with what I'm saying. I'm asking you a question, so fucking answer it. If you're in 6th grade and somebody punches you in the face and you call,
can't you have a civil debate?
I will only have a civil debate if you can. The only way to have a civil
can't.
debate is actually engaging with what we're saying.
If
you're in 6th grade and obviously I'm going to mute you when you're interrupting me. That is why the mute button exists. If you're so pissed off at the mute button, so pissed off at me like muting you when you're interrupting me, like holy fuck, why does the button even exist? That is why that button is an option for me to click. Anyways, if you're in 6th grade and somebody punches you in the face and you call them a bully, are you being mean? Or are you speaking facts, even though they might not like it?
If you're being assaulted and you call someone mean or whatever, you're just doing the right thing. You're setting up for yourself.
Right. Okay. Right. You're speaking facts, even if somebody may not like it.
Sure.
So when I call you a traitor for saying I love fascism, stick the.
Do you like fascism?
I'm speaking for you. Wait. So when I call you a traitor, when you say I love fascism, Donald Trump tried to steal the election and I couldn't care. He's still my daddy. Like I'm not being mean. I'm just speaking facts.
You can't speak. You can't speak for Hispanics, Papa. You're a Caucasian.
I'm Hispanic. I'm not speaking for Hispanic. I'm speaking for a traitor.
Why the Un-American tour was such a failure.
Wait. Did you just say that I can't call you a traitor because you're Hispanic?
No, you are being really, really rude for no reason. Simple as that. I've been nothing but I've not raised my voice to you a single time.
Wait, I just want to clarify your argument.
And I respect your passion.
Hey, little boy, I just want to clarify on your argument. Are you saying that I can't call you a traitor because you're Hispanic?
I'm not saying that at all. No, you're being rude.
So then what was the relevance in referencing
a white guy
the fact
telling
that
a Spanish guy he's a traitor? You got to check your privilege.
So your argument there is
you need to check your privilege.
Because you're Hispanic and I'm white, I can't call you a traitor for supporting an unconstitutional president that tried to rig an election?
Charlie Kirk beat you, hands down. This is why you failed.
Another pivot. Answer my question. I just want to clarify. Because I'm white and you're Hispanic, I can't call you a traitor for supporting somebody that wants to rig an election. Is that seriously your perspective?
You should not be doing that.
Okay,
both sides.
John, I have a question. What did Charlie Kirk beat either of us on?
The Un-American tour. It was a disaster because you had a racist person in your little group that was running it. It was horrible. I was actually rooting for you guys because I'm very liberal.
So he didn't engage in a debate. I agree that it is the case that like there was like
that one girl, I don't know her name.
Her engaging in racism, right? Obviously, that's something that we address, and we think that's really important to address.
A white guy telling a Hispanic guy what to do and how to vote.
Can I please finish?
Sorry,
please finish. But that's not the point that he was making. He was making a point that was a case of like infighting, apparently, right? Instead of addressing like the fact that people were like taking accountability, right? And like that it was accountability that was being applied in this circumstance. I don't know what he got us on there.
Wait.
Under your view.
Also, John, like
Parker,
this is the most hypocritical.
Charlie Kirk too. I would love to see you guys.
Hey, John, this is the most hypocritical dog shit I've ever heard. Okay,
okay.
So you're right. So you're right to say that the organizer of the Unfuck America tour used microaggressions. Where I think the hypocrisy comes in is you saying that therefore, the tube rule was horrible because the leader used microaggressions, but then you turn around and you say that I love the leader of the country even though they called all black people lazy. I love the leader of the country even though they told people not to vote for Obama because he thought he was born in Kenya with no evidence, even though he had a birth certificate from Hawaii, basically saying that less people should vote for the black guy because he's black. I voted for him, actually. Why don't you hold the same standard to Trump that you hold to Z?
I voted for President Obama in 2008 and 12.
Answer my question. Why don't you hold the same standard of Trump that you hold to Z?
Hold who?
The same standard of Trump that you hold to Z?
Z? Oh, Z's the girl that.
Why don't you hold the
your,
same
your
standard of Trump
chairman?
that you hold to Z?
I don't think Trump's racist.
He called all black people lazy.
I disagree with you on that one.
He affirmed that he said that. He said, yeah, I said that in 1977. 1997. He said that he said that. Then you could even go on his Twitter feed and see where he perpetuated. No! You could even then go on his Twitter feed and see where he perpetuated the birther myth of Barack Obama.
If he said that, he should
John
call that.
denies reality. That's what it is.
I don't deny reality.
So Trump's racist, right?
I don't think he's racist.
So how can Z be racist for using
I don't think he
microaggressions?
was
But
racist.
Trump can't be racist for calling all black people lazy and systemically
you knew
trying to
about
limit a black man having a job opportunity because he's black. You're pivoting. Answer my question. I've already spoken about that at length. I know you don't give a fuck, so I will not address it to you. Answer my question.
It's okay. We all know where you tilt.
Answer my question. Stop pivoting.
Yeah, I'm not pivoting at all. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you said that Z's a horrible leader for using microaggressions. Why isn't Donald Trump a horrible leader for calling all black people lazy and perpetuating the birther myth of Barack Obama? Answer my question.
He was 100% wrong on that.
Answer my why. So he's a horrible leader too, right?
Just said he was stupid.
So I want to clarify. He's also a horrible leader, right?
It's politics. That's simple. That's all it is. The politics.
So answer my question. So therefore, he's a horrible leader too, right? Hey. So therefore, he's a horrible leader too, right?
We'll see in 4 years.
Oh, so why? So then, why is Z a horrible leader?
We'll see in 4 years.
So then, why is Z a horrible leader?
Say again.
So then, why is Z a horrible leader?
Because white privilege, bro.
Oh, so being racist makes you a horrible leader?
See the videos of what your peers.
So being racist makes you a horrible leader. So then, why isn't Trump a horrible leader?
Your peer tried denouncing African Americans, Papa. I saw that thing, and you supported it, and you knew about it.
Okay, so don't fucking lie to me. I never supported shit. And I've already, once again, addressed the Unfuck America tour. And I will happily address it again to good faith actors. The difference is you're a bad faith actor.
Yeah,
and that's why I won't address it to you. So if that made Z a horrible leader, which I agree with, by the way, this must also mean that therefore Trump's a horrible leader too, right?
I don't think he's a horrible leader. We'll know in 4 years.
Okay, so then why is Z a horrible leader?
Gotta give him a chance.
So if racism doesn't make you a horrible leader, then why do you think Z's a horrible leader?
Simple as that.
Oh, okay. So if microaggressions can make you racist, why can't calling all black people lazy? Why can't if microaggressions can make you racist, why can't macroaggressions?
Oh, macro, Jesus Christ.
Answer my question. If microaggressions can make you racist, why can't macroaggressions?
I don't even know what the hell the difference is, buddy.
Why can't calling all black people lazy? Why can't saying that you only like short men and yarmulkes count your money make you racist? Why can't trying to get people to not vote for Obama because he's black and therefore born in Kenya not make you racist?
I voted for President Obama. Did you? Oh, wait, you were young enough. You're still
Answer
young.
my question.
I voted for President Obama in 2012.
John, I think you're not listening to like the points that Gene is bringing up that are like showing that these things are applicable to Donald Trump, yet you support these certain things.
No, I just don't like how he called me a traitor. It really rubs me the wrong way. Because
I understand. I understand, but like I think that you should listen to like the reasons as to why he said those things, because you did actually say that like you wouldn't accept like something bad about Donald Trump to be true, even if we showed you 100% evidence of it being.
There's good things from Trump and bad things about Trump. I call balls.
John. If it's 100% going to be the case, then you can't even accept it to be otherwise. That just shows that like you're not willing to accept literally reality.
Am I biased against Trump? Oh, absolutely, because I'm a Trump supporter.
No, you're biased in support of Donald Trump, but that's bias. That's bias to a cult level.
I say we do. I say we ask him one final question. If he can't answer in good faith,
I'm a Hispanic American. I just feel that Trump.
Hey, John, I'm gonna ask you one final question. If you can't answer it, I'm gonna move on from you and have the entire chat laugh at you on your way out. Are you ready for the final question?
Hey, it's okay. I just want you to know.
John, are you ready? I just want a yes or no. Are you ready for the final question?
Go right ahead, brother. Take care of yourself.
If microaggressions can make someone racist, why can't actions such as calling all black people lazy or trying to get people not to vote for a black guy because he was born, quote unquote, in Kenya, even though he's born in Hawaii?
Ms. Trump is not racist, Papa. I'm sorry.
Do you think, John, do you genuinely think that's a good faith?
Because of it.
John, would you please repeat my question?
You were upset that he won the election.
You're not repeating my question.
You're better than
John. John, would you please repeat my question?
Listen, you're gonna beat me anyways.
Hey, John.
I really appreciate this. Listen,
John.
Give me 10 seconds.
No, I'm gonna repeat my question for you. Once again, the question is: if microaggressions can make you racist, why can't calling all black people lazy or telling people not to vote for a black guy because he was apparently born in Kenya? Okay? When you say things like, oh, you just hate Trump, that's not an answer. When you say things like, oh, Trump's not racist, that's not an answer. When you say things like, oh, you're just mad at Trump, that's not an answer. Okay? I'm going to repeat the question one last time. If microaggressions can make you racist, why can't calling all black people lazy or trying to instantiate that the black man running for president was not born in America, therefore you shouldn't vote for him, make you racist? Okay? Like, a good faith answer to this question would start, well, microaggressions make you racist, but those other actions don't make you racist because XYZ. So it's your good faith answer this time. Come on, John.
I don't feel, personally, that Trump is racist. Simple as that. I don't.
John, I just clarified how that's a bad faith answer.
Hey, that's fine. Gene, here's some feedback.
John, you're on mute because that's a bad faith answer to the question. Try getting good, give a good faith answer.
Dean, I think you're better than this.
That's another bad faith answer to the question.
Fine.
It's not fine. I want a good faith answer. Stop being bad faith. Give a good faith answer.
I don't think he's racist. I don't.
Once
I
again,
don't feel that he is.
John,
His
listen to the words. That is a bad faith answer to my question. That is not answering my question. I did not ask you if you feel like Trump is racist. I asked you if microaggressions can make you racist. Why can't calling all black people lazy or telling people not to vote for the black guy because you're saying he was born in Kenya even though he wasn't make you racist? I'm not, once again, I'm going to clarify. I am not asking you if you think Trump is racist. That is not the question I'm asking. Do not answer that question. So go ahead.
I do not believe what you're saying is true. Simple as that. That's it. Simple as that. That's my honest to God answer.
Wait, questions can't be true or false.
I don't. I'm sorry. Yes, they can.
No, they can.
Yes, they can.
No, John. Questions can't be true or false.
That's not what you're saying.
Give me an example. What do you? Wait, John. Once again, that was another bad faith answer because questions can't be true or false. Only statements, propositions can be true or false. Questions can't be true or false. What the fuck do you mean? Oh, what the fuck do you mean? Oh, what you're saying isn't true. I asked you a question. Once again, the question is.
Why are you cussing?
Once again, the question is: if microaggressions can make you racist, why can't calling all black people lazy, or perpetuating the birth or myth of Barack Obama?
Give me the example. Can you give me the definition of microaggressions? I don't really use that whole stuff. So.
Yeah, John. Goodbye. Yeah, worst faith human I've ever met. Top of the list. Nobody has ever been worse. Top of the list.
I think the question about like saying that like
Dean,
would you accept this to be the case?
Black people always love Trump. Dean, you're talking all this rhetoric about Trump is not even true, bro. Stop your rhetoric about about him not liking black people, that he's racist towards black.
Hey,
even black people back in the 90s before you were born. Now hold on, let me speak. I'm 52 years old. Before you were born, black people wanted to be like Trump.
So you interrupted.
Don't go there, bro.
You interrupted Parker.
Don't go there.
Can you let Parker finish first?
Don't go there. Don't go there, Dean. You're talking all that rhetoric. You don't make no sense what you're talking about, bro. Nothing. And I'm black.
Wait, so I'm just black. Can I ask you the question? Do you think that Donald Trump has done anything that's racist?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, so do you think Donald Trump, right, in his business explicitly not renting to black people was racist?
No.
Bruh.
No.
Was racial segregation racist?
You guys keep talking about Trump being he's not a racist, bro.
Was racial?
Are you trolling? Are you trolling?
And you guys still on that
Sal
2020 issue with that
Sal,
4 years ago.
Sal,
you guys are still mad about what he's done. He's
Sal,
done better than any
hey Sal, I'm
president.
asking you a question. Was racial segregation racist?
I'm not gonna answer your question, bro.
Then leave.
You guys just talk all this bull crap out here that don't make no sense.
Then leave, bro.
None.
Then leave.
None.
Wait, I'm
None.
sorry. Are you trolling?
You guys talk all this crap that don't make no sense towards Trump. None.
If you're not gonna answer my question, then hit the road.
Wait, but like we can give you evidence that Donald Trump explicitly didn't rent to black people, right?
He doesn't think it's racist.
That's not a racist. That's not racist.
I have a question. Do you think racial? Hold up. Do you think racial segregation is racism?
I'm not gonna answer your question, bro.
I'm just asking. Do you think racial segregation is racism?
Stop saying that Trump
so Parker,
is racist,
there's actually a way to do this. Watch this. Sal, I'm gonna count down from 10 with my fingers. If you don't answer the question, is racial segregation racist? By the time I'm done counting down, I'm gonna assume your answer is yes. Is racial segregation racist?
I already told you I'm not gonna answer your question.
Okay, so your answer is yes. So you do think racial segregation is racist? So not
you're
renting
putting words in my mouth. You're putting words in my mouth, bro. That's the most idiotic thing you can do to a person, bro.
Well, I mean, like I would assume that you believe.
I don't have
that
to answer questions.
Well, I mean,
It's like my Fifth Amendment.
but I would assume that you believe that racial segregation is racism.
If that's your opinion, that's fine. That's your opinion.
Okay. So you don't think like forcefully segregating people on the basis of race is racism?
Did you guys heard about that story about that black lady that was living here in this hotel?
I'm sorry. Would you like to respond to what I just said?
No, I'm asking you a question. You guys heard about that black lady?
Bruh, dude, Sal, how are we gonna have a conversation if you won't like respond to anything?
No, because you guys always want people to respond to your questions, and I'm not.
I have a question.
I'm not gonna fall to your
here.
trap.
I'll ask you this specific question.
I'm
Right?
not
If
gonna fall to
there's
your trap, Gene.
if there's a landlord that won't rent to black people, are they racist?
Look, I live around black
Because
people
they're
all
black?
day, bro.
Well, I'm asking if there's a landlord that won't rent to black people, right? Because they're black, are they racist?
How will you know because they're black they don't want to rent to them? That's a stupid question.
If we know. If they say it,
Because they
so.
they specifically put C on applications of non-white individuals to say that they wouldn't rent to them.
Wait, we don't even need to start there. What if they just say it? Okay, if somebody says
And
that they
also-
won't rent to black people because they're black, are they racist?
There were also
No,
testers.
they're not racist. That's not being racist.
Wait, hold up. There were also
I don't think-
testers.
that's not being racist.
Hold up. So they had people, right, with the same set of qualifications, right, go through the system, and people who were white got through with the same qualifications. The people who were black did not.
He doesn't think it's racist. Sal, do you think that the Civil Rights Acts of 58 and 64 combated racism? Did those combat racism, Sal?
I'm talking about what's going on now. But I'm not going backwards, bro. You guys go back way to the back. It's time to move forward, bro.
Well, actually, let's ask him. Let's ask him this. Let's ask him this.
Everybody's equal. Black, brown, white. We're all equal now, bro. We can't
can
be
I ask
going
you a
back. We're
question?
talking about going
Wait.
backwards and keep going backwards. Talking about what happened in the past. We got to talk about what's going on in the future now, bro. Everybody's equal now. There's no racism and all that. So you guys,
There's no racism now. Or did you really just say that there's no racism?
No. I don't believe in that, honestly. Because I live around black people. I'm
you don't believe
Latino,
racism
black. I'm Puerto
exists?
Rican, first of all. So I'm all three. I'm Spanish, Indian, and black.
Wait, can I just ask you what is racism?
What is racism? Go ahead, Parker. Go ahead.
I'm just asking you what is racism?
What is racism? Because you guys are still stuck on the past.
No, because
What is racism?
I'm just confused on what you mean by the term, because you just said that there is no racism, right?
I don't think there's
and based on how we all use the term, we know that there's a lot of racism in our society, and exactly like Donald Trump is one of the people that perpetuates that racism.
I mean, according to Sal, has there ever been racism?
He said that there's no racism right now. That's such a crazy. I need him to define that.
Just
I
like
really
in
have to
history.
get him to define that.
Even if you don't give us an example, how about you just give us an example before we even go into the definition? Give us an example.
Everybody's equal. Everybody's equal nowadays.
Yo, we're literally asking for something.
Will fall in a brown person.
We're literally asking for you. We're asking for something.
You guys always. That's a rhetoric that the left always come out with.
Can you give us an example of something that is racist?
They come down. For me, there's no racism. I treat everybody equally.
Wait, so you don't think that there's any examples of racism?
I'm talking about me. I'm talking about I treat everybody equally.
I know, but
there's no racism.
But like, okay, could you give me an example of racism in American history? Let's start there.
For what? I'm moving forward. This is the future now, bro. I'm not going back with what happened back in the 1940s.
1940s. Oh, there was racism in the 1940s. What was racist in the 1940s?
That's what you guys were talking about earlier. You guys started bringing that back up.
Do you think there was racism in the 1940s?
Like I said, I'm talking about what happened going now. I'm not worried about what happened in the back. Okay, in the back future.
Well, let's worry about it. Just for one question.
Now. That's the rhetoric at the left.
With just like one, let's worry about it for just a minute here.
The racism card, and that's what.
Let's worry about it just for a minute here. Was there racism?
I don't talk about the past, bro. I'm not in the past no more. I'm in the future.
Hey, Dean, can I say something, Dean?
For sure, hop in here.
Hey, first of all, black people don't support Donald Trump. Okay, let's get that straight. We have nothing to do with Donald Trump. We have no love for him whatsoever. We think he's a racist fuck. Okay.
Yo, Cook.
That's number one. And
That's your opinion. That's your
the bad
opinion.
thing. Hold on, let me finish. The bad thing about people like this guy here is that they don't know the past, so therefore you bound to repeat the future. Racism does exist. It's very prevalent in America. You know, and I respect the fact that Dean has done the work to improve himself. He's a young man that's growing.
I
And
always got more to
Parker,
do.
you do a great job as well. So keep doing what you guys are doing. We respect you as brothers and with us. But people like him are a sellout. People like him we call coons. People like him we have no
Okay.
respect for. 5 out of 5. Hold on a second. 5 out of 10 people in the Hispanic community voted for Trump. The devil, the demon, the liar, the rapist, the convicted felon. Black people have no respect for Trump whatsoever. We did not vote against our own interests. These people
You did it.
don't
You
know.
did it.
These people
All
don't know
my black
anything
folks
about
did.
1965 and the Civil Rights Bill. They don't know
All my
anything
black
about the
folks did.
1965 Civil Rights Bill that gave them the right to be in America. Otherwise, people like Trump would not want them to be in America. Period. The guy is he promoted birtherism. He was totally against Barack Obama, who was one of the best presidents that ever set foot on this country. We have no respect for people like that. Black people, we don't have any respect for people that voted for Trump. Because these people vote against their own interests. They voted against women. They voted against trans people. They voted against everything that was good for America. They set this country back 50 fucking years.
Brent,
50 years we went backwards.
you want to know the
And
craziest
here's black
part?
people. Here's black people was trying to help people like the Hispanic community who turned around and turned their backs on us and voted for a fucking loser, a fucking treason, a fucking animal, a rapist, a felon. Can you imagine applying for a job and you're a felon and he has the highest office in the land? That is unbelievable. Unbelievable that these people did this. Unbelievable. And 7 out of white men voted for Donald Trump. So you guys, Dean, keep doing what you're doing. Keep growing as a person. Parker, keep doing what you're doing as a human being, and continue to be great, guys. So you guys are our future. People like this guy is a loser. And we don't have anything to do with it. We don't associate with people like this. We are not, black people do not have any association with these type of people, period.
I brought you up here just as a random guest in the queue that I thought
Because
would be
God-
MAGA in
because
debate
God
with
sent me.
Sal, and you're
Because God
and you
sent me.
came up here and cooked. You came up here and cooked, Brent. You cooked his ass. You fucking flamed him. Oh my God. Holy
God
fucking
sent me.
God sent
God sent me.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I've been an agnostic atheist for the last 3 years, but today I'm a damn believer in God. Mr. Brent, I appreciate you for popping up here, and I want you to have the best possible rest of your day possible.
That's what we want.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day, Parker. And keep doing what you're doing, Dean. Keep growing. You are future. Have a good one.
You as well, Brent. You as well. Dude, W Brent at the chat.
Thank you so much, Brent.
Dude, hey, Sal, I'm doing your mic.
Ken, by the way, thank you for the $25. Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you for the $20. Thank you.
Hey, Sal, do you have anything else to say?
That's what Trump wants.
And you got kicked.
Crazy.
Yo, dude.
Thank you so much, though. I really appreciate it, y'all. I really appreciate it. LVZ, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much.
What is
Christina,
going?
thank you for the $1.
What is going on with the guests today, man? These guys suck, bro. But yo, honestly,
yo, Sid with the $100 YouTube super chat. Can we get some W's for Sid in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Sid. I really appreciate it, as well as Ben. Thank you for the $2. Thank you. Let's get some W's for Sid in the comment section. Thank you so much, Sid. I'm sorry, Dean, for cutting you off, but thank you so much, Sid. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No
As well as
worries.
Ben, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much.
Not gonna lie, Brent redeemed the queue for the day. Yo, like Brent alone brought up like the average IQ in the guest request, like alone by like 50 fucking points. Let me tell you.
That's true, man.
Let me tell you. Let's gonna get that next guest up in here. We're kind of looking for like a not insufferable Trump supporter. Like preferably, like we have been talking to like very insufferable Trump supporters for like the last Like fucking
how long have you been
hour
on?
and a half, 3 hours. I think that the insufferable Trump supporter, it's been like 2 hours straight. I kind of just want like a normal person that supports the president. But even like now, like that's hard. It's hard to find. It's really hard to find. In the meantime, I'd like to show some love to Hitman for the 50 pounds over on YouTube Super Chat. Let's get 500 W Hitmans down below in the comment section. If you even can comment that. I don't know if you can. Thank you so much for the love, though, man. I really appreciate it. As well as Veteran with the $50 over on YouTube Super Chat as well, saying, don't forget to breathe, sir. Mad respect. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Those insufferable Trump supporters give me work the fuck up, dude. Like, man. Like, dude, there comes a point where they're just so insufferable, so insane.
Dean, you accidentally followed Sal and not Brent.
I accidentally followed Sal. I guess thanks for letting me know. I'll unfollow him afterwards. It's really easy to accidentally follow guests when you're like.
Yeah, it is. It is really easy. Like it has like the thing, and like when you tap on them to like, it's just right there.
Yeah, I'll unfollow him after the stream. Thanks for letting me know. But let's show some love to Sal and Brent down below. Wait, whoa. Sal and Brent, Hitman and Veteran and Brent down below in that chat right now. Thank you so much, Veteran and Hitman. I do really appreciate you guys so much for the $50 each over on YouTube Super Chat, as well as Sam. Thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate that, Sam. You're phenomenal. What is going on, Linda? Are you MAGA? And Linda's not here, so we are going to move on to the next guest, everyone. Let's go and get that next guest up in that box. If you are in that queue, make sure that you are MAGA, y'all.
Everyone on the YouTube streams, make sure to like the stream real quick. Everyone on TikTok, tap that screen. We're almost at 1 million likes. Let's run it to 1 million real quick, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Also, Sarah, thank you so much for the $10 over at Venmo. This did come in an hour ago, but I haven't thanked you yet. I was really lost in that last conversation. Thank you for the love, Sarah. Everybody, let's show some love to Sarah. As well as Erica. Once again was an hour ago. I'm really sorry for just now getting around to it. Thank you for the $25 over on Venmo, Erica. Everybody, please show some love to Sarah and Erica down below in that queue. As well as Mark, thank you for the $20 over on PayPal, Avery with a 5, and Zachary with a 5. You guys are awesome. If you're watching and you want to support me, support the stream, support what we do here, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio, y'all. I get 100% of the proceeds over on those platforms, and you'll get a shout out as I get a notification with your name and an attached message. Let's go get that next guest up in here, y'all. Let's try to have some civil discourse, guys. Some civil discourse, everybody. Some very civil discourse. We're going to have some civil discourse. Hello, Moose. How are you, MAGA?
Yo, what's up? Parker, I gotta say the mustache is super hot, dude. I'm like 90% chubbed up right now. You should definitely keep it. And Dean, you should try to grow one out.
Civil discourse only. Please.
Dean.
Hi, are you MAGA?
Najee,
Yeah,
thank you for the $5. Thank you.
I'm 50 years old from New York. I voted for Trump.
Are you like?
Wow, that is the best microphone I think I've ever heard.
You got a lot of noise. Oh. Your mic just connected to some Bluetooth device. Turn off your Bluetooth.
John, thank you for the $2. Thank you.
Dear God. Sam with the.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, we hear you now. Wait, it worked.
Also, Sam's message, please talk about Adriana Smith,
It
who's
worked?
in
You
Georgia
hear
and
me?
is brain dead. She's literally being kept alive solely for her baby. Yeah, I heavily disagree with the legislation, like, forcing that. Like, that's literally so fucking disgusting, bro. You got a little bit of an echo,
Seriously,
Socrates.
like that, the legislation existing, that is an example of abortion bans and how they have detrimental impacts, right? And they force people and families against their will, right, to literally sustain, right, an individual who is brain dead, right, in order to be able to give birth to, right, like an embryo or a fetus. Like, that's diabolical.
But yeah, Socrates, you got some, yeah, you just have an echo, man. Disconnect Bluetooth. Everyone just give us a minute.
People keep asking, why does he have a mustache? It's random. I don't know how long it'll be here.
Test?
You hear me now?
Perfect.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me, right?
Yeah. So why do you support Trump?
Okay, I support Trump for all the right reasons. But listen, while you're on TV, the Robert Hur report came out. Do you know what that is?
Robert Hurd report. I feel like
Robert
I've heard
Hur.
but I don't know what it is.
He was the one that interviewed Joe Biden about the documents 2 years into his presidency.
Okay, so some news report.
Now we're talking about a constitutional crisis, right?
Biden with
Joe
documents?
Biden. No, not about the documents, about his health. Joe Biden, although I do, no, you might laugh at me, Dean, but listen to me, dude. Joe Biden could not answer a question. He didn't remember when his son died. His son was unalived or whatever it's called.
One, that's not true. Secondly, can I ask you a question? Who is more cognitively aware, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump?
Donald Trump is 100%.
Hey man, I have a question.
Yeah.
What either article or amendment to the American Constitution does Biden being old like
Do you understand?
against?
He was not the president, Dean. He was not. No matter what
Who
you
was
think.
the president?
Dean, we're all going to find out soon. Turn the television on, bro. Turn the television on. It's all
no.
over.
Oh, I love it when people like make a claim and then I ask.
Make a claim.
Well,
Make a claim, Dean. I'm just doing it to save yourself.
Socrates. Wait.
Dean, I'm doing it to save yourself, bro.
This person's trolling. I have a feeling.
No, I'm not trolling. I'm not
I
trolling.
get genuine vibes.
Yeah,
off of it.
dude, this is like an old argument,
Parker,
really old argument,
Parker,
because
Parker,
it is the.
Parker, it's
What's that?
new. It's brand new.
I have an idea.
Okay, now he's trolling. Yeah, for sure.
Parker, turn the television on. You'll be embarrassed.
I actually don't think he's trolling. Hey man, well let's.
If you don't
Do you mind if I ask you like a question?
Yeah, sure.
What does Biden have to do with my background?
Nothing at all. But you're talking about
Great.
constitutional crises.
You're
talking about constitutional crises, right?
Your point is insane. Just tell me.
Dean,
tell me
Dean,
why you think.
Dean.
So I just want to clarify. The question I asked you is why are you MAGA? And you started shitting on Biden. So
Okay, no.
only
But you're
support
talking
Trump
about,
because you didn't support Biden.
You're going to bring up Constitution, how he broke the Constitution. He challenged the Constitution, Dean. You know that. You know that if you think about it from a litigating
He
perspective.
called for a termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution.
Oh, I just cracked my back so nice.
Okay,
That felt
did
good.
FDR do that?
Did FDR call for a termination of all rules,
Did
regulations?
FDR violate the Constitution? Did he violate due
I
process?
don't know, but I'm not like a big FDR stan.
What do you mean? You should know
FDR,
this.
Japanese
FDR
internment
did it.
camps.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
It happens.
Yeah, that was. Wait, but
What?
I'd argue that was like one of the most atrocious things.
Okay, yeah,
in like
I
the last
agree.
100 years that has happened.
I agree. It's horrible. We were attacked at Pearl Harbor.
So
they pushed
Socrates,
Japanese.
I just want to clarify that you're making an analogy between what Trump is doing now and one
No,
of the most
everyone
atrocious.
challenged it. Okay,
Hey,
okay. Do you want to?
So you're making an analogy between what Trump is doing now and one of, if not the most atrocious thing, or sorry, no, I will say one of the most atrocious things to happen in the last 100 years of American history.
It's still challenging the Constitution, Dean. Now listen. Okay, let's talk about him challenging the Constitution.
But you're like, oh hey, what Trump is doing isn't that wrong because of one
No,
of the most bad
but you're
things that any
you're
president
missing
has
my
done.
point, Dean. You're missing my point again. You keep talking about the January 6th. You keep talking about him trying to fight the election. Regardless, it's over.
Like imagine that Trump owned slaves, and they're like, oh, do we remember Andrew Jackson? He also owned slaves. Like that doesn't. What does it do for your point? That doesn't like justify what Trump is doing now. If anything, it just exacerbates how bad it is. Because you're comparing what he's doing now to one of the worst things in modern American history.
Oh, Dean, you could play that way, but I'm just talking about challenging the Constitution. He also, George Bush challenged the Constitution. President Biden defied the Constitution and found
Socrates,
loopholes.
you're not listening though. That's not just challenging the Constitution. This is calling for an utter termination of the Constitution.
He's not looking for
not to
termination.
sustain like legitimate concerns.
Okay,
but
give me an
wait,
example. Give me an
Socrates,
example.
Socrates, can I please finish? Is it possible?
Parker, you guys talk all the time, all right? And I'm watching.
I haven't talked very much.
I'm watching the Knicks game. I want to get off in like 5 minutes, but listen to me. Well, how did he?
Is it just like me listening to you, or am I allowed to talk in this conversation?
Okay, yeah. Ask me questions.
What was I just saying?
You said he terminated the Constitution. How?
Yeah, he's calling for a termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, not for a legitimate concern, but because he thinks that the election was stolen from him with no evidence.
Okay, we're done with the election stolen. The election's over. He lost the election. I agree. with you.
Okay. So then why don't you acknowledge that this is an utter threat to our democracy, our rule of law, our
Wait,
Constitution,
now,
our core American
this is what
values?
I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. That's over, guys. It's only as bad
No,
as
it's
the
not.
last threat to the Constitution. Joe Biden was not the
He's currently a threat to the American
How is he
Constitution
currently a
and the
threat now?
court system because
How's it-
he's trying to defy orders from the Supreme Court.
What is he doing? You don't think? Okay, before
Really?
we go
What is he
on,
doing?
you
What
think-
is he doing? The
do you
Supreme
think-
Court.
Okay,
said-
wait.
Watch this.
Wait,
Was Biden a bad president?
He was horrible.
Oh, but it's over. So stop talking about it.
No, but this is what I'm talking about.
No, that's different.
You
This
can't
is
keep
different,
bringing
dude.
up January 6th in the election.
You can't keep bringing up. Wait, you came up here and you argued Biden's cognitive health.
No,
what
I'm
the
not.
fuck are you
I'm
talking about?
Hey, listen. You could talk about January 6th all you
So,
want.
I'm sorry. You can't say that. No, don't tell us that like it is the case that we can't talk about January 6th when you brought up Biden's cognitive health. I really don't want to hear it.
Because you are going to find the biggest constitutional crisis that ever happened in America.
With the current president. Yes.
No,
the current
not with the
president is
current
causing
president.
there currently is
How?
a constitutional
Okay,
crisis
before
because
we
it's
go on with
denying
the
an order from the Supreme Court.
Okay, what was the order?
Specifically with Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Okay,
right?
That was
said that he should have been given
What is
due
facilitate?
process.
No, well, they said that when he was already gone. So what does facilitate mean?
What-
Facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia. What does that mean? Both parties have to be involved. Now, as I remember, there was two parties involved.
Parker, what's easier to like point out, and I've learned this about the Abrego Garcia case, is they could really
Yeah,
muddy
I
the
don't know why
waters.
you guys. I don't know why you guys think you're pro so women.
They could like muddy the waters with like the facilitate point, even though they're wrong. It's just a little bit harder to prove they're wrong when they're this dense. Like the easiest like way to convey.
Dean, don't mute me. Don't mute.
I'm gonna mute you again. Mute already happened, bro. Get over it. It's just to point out that like they ruled that what he did was illegal. Like you don't even need to talk about the facilitation of his return. Just like literally point out the fact that they ruled that his removal of Abrego Garcia was unconstitutional.
Yeah, you know what,
Yes,
man? Shit
that's
happens.
good enough.
The guy was a human trafficker. All right. The guy was. You saw the video of him in Tennessee, didn't you, Dean?
Wait, who's the trafficker?
So basically, what you're saying,
Abrego Garcia.
So you don't care.
You guys like.
So you don't
what's
care about the
dangerous
constitutional
this?
violation.
Socrates, Donald Trump is a rapist. So do you think that he deserves due process?
Ted Bundy saw his day in court.
He had due process and he was convicted.
And you still voted for him. And now you're like,
guys,
oh my
guess what?
gosh.
I didn't buy into
He's
all
so
that
great.
garbage.
What garbage? The
I didn't
court
buy
system
into it.
being accurate?
I didn't buy into all that garbage.
The,
right?
the jury unanimously determined that he sexually assaulted a woman?
You know what? I didn't buy. I thought it was judicial prosecution of a presidential
Amanda,
candidate.
thank you for the $10 over on Venmo saying that Socrates
What's wrong
sucks.
with that?
So real. Thank you for the love, Amanda. Everybody,
You
show
don't think you
some love
could
to Amanda in the chat.
prosecute you don't think you could prosecute presidential candidates?
No, you know what? If they did it in 19, I would have said fine. If they did it in, rather when he left office, I would have been fine with it. But when he won the primaries,
it was filed in 19.
wait. Let me see that, Parker. When was that filed?
Eugene Carroll filed in 19. Dude, this
When
guy
did they
has
bring
no
him to
clue what he's
court?
talking
When
about.
did they
dude.
bring him to court?
The charge he brought him to court in 2019.
Filed in 2019.
Wait, you're telling me the
yeah.
Eugene Carroll court case?
Eugene Carroll filed in 2019.
Yeah,
yes.
took him to court in 2019.
You got to understand this. The world.
That's actually laughable that he said, like, if it happened in 19, I'd be okay with it. Now, are you okay with it?
Are you still okay with it, bud?
The world identified with a.
Wait, are you Socrates? Are you okay with it?
You know what, man? No, I'm not okay with it. Okay.
Hey, Socrates, can I bring up another point?
Yeah, sure.
So you're saying like, oh, Abrego Garcia didn't deserve due process. You don't care that he had his rights violated because you think he's
Nope, not him. No,
So-
you got to read the room, man. If you guys ever want to
Socrates.
win another election, you'll never.
Well, bam, muted. See, here's my response. I want to assume that everything you're saying is true, just for like a quick thought experiment, and I want to make it clear that this is a thought experiment. Let's say Abrego Garcia is a human trafficker. In my mind, that actually makes it more important to give him due process, so those facts can be duly discovered in a court of law. Okay.
Okay.
Like when we're talking about like bad actors doing bad things, like it just makes it all the more important to prove that they did those bad things in court, so the victims know that what happened, that who did
Dean,
the
I
bad
know
things to
due
them.
process, buddy. Dean, I know due process, my friend.
If you
All right.
interrupt me again, I'm going to kick you, and I'm never going to have you back on.
Oh, Dean.
I know. Hard line.
Don't be like that.
But
Don't
I
be
am.
like that.
But I am.
Okay. But Dean, all I'm saying is that you're being dishonest to all these people, dude.
Can I cut him off real quick?
Yeah, Parker. Let me talk to you.
I'm sorry. No. I meant cut you off. by the way, because Drew, can we get some fucking W's for Drew in the comment section for the
go Drew.
$500 on Venmo? Let's get some fucking W's for Drew right now in the comment section for the $500. Shut up right now. Mute your mic, buddy. The $500 on fucking Venmo. Holy shit. Let's get some fucking W's for Drew
Dean, what
right
do you
now
do
in the
with that
comment
money?
section right now. Thank you so much.
what
Enjoy
do you
your
do with that
weekend,
money?
by the way. Enjoy your weekend.
Dude,
Drew,
shoot
thank
out
you
to
so much
Drew,
for the
bro.
$20. Thank you so much. Look at
Come
some
on, Dean,
fucking
what do you
W's
do
for
with that money?
Drew.
Shoot out to Drew. What are you?
Let's keep muting his mic. Thank you, Drew.
Yo, Drew.
What are you asking, Socrates?
What do you do with that money once you get it? You put it back into your show?
What do I do with it?
I don't have to tell you what I do with the money that people donate
I
to me.
put it in my bank account and I use it to pay for like things that happen in my daily life.
Why are you jealous, bud?
No, I'm not jealous at all.
Then
bro.
why do you ask?
I'm proud of you. You're so happy that you got the 500. I'm just asking.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I be thankful of
Yeah,
Drew sending
what?
me $500? I'm sorry, Socrates. Please, for 1 second, be like, if someone sent you $500, would you be thankful and happy?
$500?
Yes.
No, not really.
What? Why? Wait.
Okay,
Explain it
then
to me. Why?
Wait, if
wouldn't
he
you
doesn't
be
care
happy?
about $500, send me $500 right now, Socrates. If you don't care about $500,
Why would I send you any money?
because you don't care about $500.
No, I
You're
don't
just-
care
you're
if
just
someone.
pr-
I don't care if someone sent me $500.
Why would
I don't
you-
want to
Okay,
send you
so-
$500
Why would you not care?
because I do all right for myself, Dean. Some people have real jobs, bro.
Oh, this isn't a real job, Socrates. I gotta ask you, man. Here's the pressing question. And Mr. Socrates, what is a real job?
I work in the economic.
I don't
industry.
want
I'm
you
a
to tell us
buy-side.
what your job is. I don't need an example. I need a definition. Define job. J-O-B. What's the definition?
It's one you wake up at 9 and you leave at 4 o'clock. 9:30
Great.
to 4 o'clock.
Great.
Right.
So it's a 9 to 4. Let me ask you a question.
9:30 to 4. 9:30.
So Donald Trump has never worked as a W-2 employee on a 9 to 4 or 9 to 5. Does this mean that Trump has never had a real job?
Oh, Dean, he's
Doctors and nurses don't work 9 to 4s and 9 to 5s. Do doctors and nurses have a real job?
Apparently,
Yes,
my
they do,
dad
of
doesn't
course,
have a
but
real
my-
job.
my
My
definition of
my
my
dad
job-
doesn't work 9 to 4 though.
Oh, so then you could have a real job without working 9 to 4. So just
Yes,
because me
so
and Parker
what?
don't work 9 to 4, we have a real
No,
job.
I'm not. Hey, if I could do what you guys are doing at your age,
Maddie, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo for the real
You guys
job. I
got-
really
you guys
appreciate
got
you
an
for the love,
amazing-
Maddie. Everybody show some love to Maddie down below in that chat for
guys
the
got an
$25.
amazing
Thank you so
video
much for the
on
love. Could you say W, Maddie?
My, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. And Jay, thank you for the $20 on YouTube Super
Thank you,
Chat. Thank you
Jay.
so much. Thank you. I really
Jay.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Mai.
So what's the job?
You're doing your job right now. I left my job.
Oh, I'm
today.
doing my job right now, by the way. He just called it a job.
You're doing your job. I said it's your job.
Okay.
What
well,
I
then-
said, other people have different jobs. That's all
well,
I said.
no, you said they have a real job, indicating that we don't have a real job.
Well, no.
And we
If I
questioned
had
you what
to-
a real job is, and then you
No,
immediately
no,
said it was
okay.
9 to 4.
Okay, this
right?
is
Which we
my
showed you that like you
this
don't
is
have
my
to have 9 to
generation-
4 in order to be able to consider to have a real
okay,
job.
Parker. Okay, Parker, you got me. I'm a Generation X guy speaking. And so when I say a real job, they used to say to me, get a real job. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you remember the?
Yeah,
do you
look at
remember
my
those
name. Do you
things?
see my name? Do you see what my name is?
Yeah, it's Parker.
Okay, Parker what?
I have no idea.
Click on my account real quick.
Why? I know you have like 1 million followers. I know.
No,
Dina.
I'm not even on that account. Click on my account name.
Why? What if I lose you? I
You
don't know.
won't.
how to
You're
work
not gonna
TikTok.
lose me by just clicking on my.
His
dude.
name is Parker. Get a real job.
Dude,
Parker.
shit.
What? Hey, dude, you have a
Michelle,
real.
thank you so much.
Yo,
for the
Tyler,
powerful.
thank
I
you
appreciate you. Thank you, Michelle.
Tyler, thank you for the $25 for my
Now-
fake
now,
job. Thank you
Dean.
so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you,
Dean.
Tyler, for the $25 for my fake
Dean,
job.
don't get aggravated, Dean.
I'm
What's
just,
that?
At this point, I'm just like
What?
tired, man. You,
Parker
I'm
has
not-
a fake job.
I'm not-
What's that pen you puff on?
Funny you ask.
Anxiety.
Let me. Just
Okay,
give me-
get it
just-
right, buddy.
just give me a
Anxiety.
minute. Just give me a minute, Socrates. It's
Why,
an
you're
anxiety pin. In fact, it's my anxiety pin.
Yeah, well, he gives you a lot of anxiety. Why do you need that?
Because I need it.
You sound like you need it. What about the bars, man?
Stop.
What about
Move
medication?
on. Next topic. Next topic.
Dean, you're gonna get kicked out of your apartment, bro.
Next topic, Socrates.
Okay, so do you think we had a migration problem, Dean? Oh, you want to talk about something? Do you think we had it? Come on,
Dean. Do you remember that time when like we like the neighbors of
you
my
guys are
apartment like
pathetic.
came and knocked on the door because you were so loud during battles?
Dude, okay. I want to talk about this real quick. I have been memeing about this damn fucking pin for like the last 12 months. Every single time somebody brings it
You
up
have
on
you have heart palpitations.
Shut up. Every single time somebody brings it up on my live, I give them the most fucking outrageous possible reaction I could give. And it is full-heartedly the best running joke ever, because what always ends up happening is somebody asks about the anxiety pin. I talk about the anxiety pin. I'm completely fucking outrageous, so insufferable, rage baiting to the max. They clip it, they post it. It gets like 1 million views. In fact, if you go to my main account and you look at my most recent repost,
I don't care that you see
it happened
it.
3 days ago. So what you're all gonna see is like in 2 days from now, somebody's gonna post a clip of him asking about the pin and me yelling
No.
because I need it, and it's gonna have like 20K
I don't care that
likes,
you need it.
and
I'll
then like
take Xanax.
everybody in the comment section is gonna be like, "Oh, Dean's
take
so
Xanax.
insufferable. This Dean guy needs to get a grip. How do people like this Dean guy?" And it's gonna be great. And I'm gonna repost it.
You're easily. I would never do that to you. I take Xanax. I'm saying it right on here. Can I say that?
No, actually.
I don't think you can.
Oh, dudes. Moving on to the next guest. Moving on to the next guest. Everyone, we're gonna get that next guest up in the box. Yo, Christian, I appreciate you so much for the $40 over on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Christian. Let's get 400 Christian W's down below in that chat while we get likely the last guest of the stream up onto the live.
Reagan, thank you for the $5. Thank you.
And then also Bruce J. Thank you for the $10 on Venmo because I need
I just wanted to pop on real quick because I found the definition of job for you guys if you wanted to hear like the actual definition.
Yes, actually, can we hear that?
Oh, Bree, we can't.
Oh, we can't hear you when you're out of the app.
Oh, it's a paid position of regular employment. So yeah. So and
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. I think all the MAGA who believe that needed that because they really have no clue what that means.
Yo, let's go, Bree. Yo,
or
Bree.
I think it's a task. Like there's a second part. Like it's just a task. Like
So
you can.
fucking real.
So as long as you're just paid for like doing the work, it's a job.
So
A paid
real,
task,
Bree.
yeah.
So real, Bree, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for coming up, Bree. You're a W. So real. That's right, W, Bree.
We're paid by the DNC, but also we don't have a job.
So real.
You know what? That's the real position.
On job, bro. On job. What's up, Roth? You MAGA? That's not. This will probably be the last guest of this stream for me, by the way, Parker.
Okay, buddy.
We'll hop off. You know, let me bully this guy about his EcoBoost real quick. Give me like 30 seconds.
Oh no, I remember this guy.
How's that EcoBoost, buddy?
What?
How's that EcoBoost?
Oh, no, hold on. No, we're not doing this, Gene.
Yeah, how's the EcoBoost, bud?
It's not an EcoBoost.
It's a
If you,
fucking
no.
it's an EcoBoost.
Have you watched my videos?
Yeah, I haven't. I saw an
My
EcoBoost.
recent video was me wiping out. So
Oh, I haven't seen that video. I did see the video where the EcoBoost went like 0 to 60 in like 10 seconds. So
no, it's not an EcoBoost
It's an
because
EcoBoost.
I hate. I genuinely don't like when like the last time I went on Parker's live, he kept calling me mustard, and it's just honestly annoying how y'all don't like keep calling me like EcoBoost and Parker's calling me.
I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me, Mustard.
it's an EcoBoost. You know, the first time he came up on this stream, me and him had a back and forth about his EcoBoost for like 10 minutes. And I wasn't live. And I wasn't live on YouTube at the time. And I really wish that I would have been live so it could have been in record.
I forgot about Mustard. Jesus Christ, bro, dude. Oh my god.
Dude, what have these streams become, man? What have these streams become? We've lost the plot. We've lost the plot. Hitman, thank you for the 20 pounds over on YouTube Super Chat. Huge shout out to Hitman down below. You've been supporting all stream, man. Thank you so much. Also, Too Bad, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate you so much for the love. It's very kind of you. And oh my God, Trisha, thank you for the $50 over on Venmo. Holy fuck. Let's show some love to Trisha down below in that comment section. At least 500 W's for Trisha. She didn't add a message or I would read it off, but huge shout out to Trisha. Actually, she did. She left a bicep emoji. Very nice, Trisha. Also, big PSA, guys. If you've been watching for a while, you'll know what I'm referencing. I'm going to bring the mullet back, everyone.
Oh no.
I've been negotiating with the girlfriend, okay? Because she's not a fan. Of
Negotiations have undergone.
She's not a fan of the mullet. She's never been a fan of the mullet. But we agreed that if I bring the mullet back, because I love the mullet, that her only requirement is that I also have to grow a mustache. So I gotta have a mullet and a mustache. Yeah. And I gotta get like back in the gym too. That was mine.
What the fuck
That's
is
what
going
that's what
on,
I hit her
dude?
back with. I was like, okay, I'll only get the mustache if I also get back to the gym. So it'd be mullet, mustache, big biceps. You know what I mean?
What? I'm sorry. This is going to be a really interesting combination.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Hello, Tide. Do you support Trump? Oh no, I'm already.
People said mustache, bros.
Can you hear me?
Let's go.
This is how you win the young men back, everybody. Listen to me. The day I turned 21, smashing Keystone Lights on live with mullet, mustache, big biceps. I will get the youth back vote. I'll get the youth vote back by 2026, okay? What's going on, Todd? Do you support Trump?
Crazy.
Yeah, I do. And I find a problem with both you and Parker. I think both of you are cowards. I think both of you are liars. You need to stop lying to your audience.
What are we lying to our audience about?
So earlier, I think I heard you approve of the invasion of Iraq.
What?
I heard you earlier. You approved of the invasion of Iraq.
No, I was shitting on it.
You were you were shitting on it, but yeah, you were saying that it's okay to support the U.S. military.
I actually have like a pretty like anti. I mean, I think that our military does a lot of bad things. You want me to go through?
Okay, would you agree that our military are terrorists?
I think that they've done terroristic things, like CIA coups of leaders.
Are you
in
okay with
Africa.
saying that we're terrorists? That the U.S. military are terrorists?
I think I'm fine with saying that they've done like acts of terror. Yeah.
Acts of terror. Okay, like bombing Iraq unjustifiably, like costing 13,000 Iraqi lives. You don't think that's bad? Or even like a million
I think I
afterwards?
just kind of like affirm that. Now, I'm not as educated on Iraq, so what I can say is like it's likely that I go out, I learn, and then I condemn it as an act of terror. But I just don't know that much about.
I'm confused what your point is. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. So Donald Trump supports like funding the U.S. military?
So does Kamala Harris.
Can I clarify? He supports funding it more than Kamala Harris. Kamala, by the way. Right. Secondly, it is the case that like we can reference right the global acts of terror around the entire world, like specifically Donald Trump perpetuating the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians, calling for there to be Trump Gaza, right, and like a no right to return for Palestinians. Right. We can mention specifically like with Yemen, or Donald Trump like literally supporting Saudi Arabia's genocide of Yemeni individuals. Right. So like that's another thing we can address and talk about. We can talk about plenty of things worldwide where Donald Trump supports acts of terror, and also in the United States, particularly with like the pardoning of violent January 6 offenders.
I'm not here to dispute that. I'm not saying that Trump is a evil.
But be honest. You're a
Kamala
leftist
isn't
that actually
evil.
does hate us and think we're cowards, LARPing as a Trump supporter, so we don't kick you.
I'm not a leftist. I'm actually I believe.
Why did you vote for Trump?
I just believe in pro-life, but
Dude,
we
oh
can
my
both
God.
acknowledge that both.
So rights violations,
But
rights violations on people in Iraq at the hand of our military. Terrible act of terror, but rights violations on women.
Wait, why are you
home,
like mocking it? Why are you mocking the idea that?
Wait, hold up. I have a really good question.
Wait, Dean, why are you mocking the idea that it was terror?
Hold up. You said that you're pro-life. So this case that has happened, right, specifically where at 8 weeks they forced, right, like a brain dead individual to go through the pregnancy, right, against the family's will. Do you support that law?
Did she want the baby?
Wait, again, it's 8 weeks in. We don't know. I don't think we have that information.
I did hear that she wanted the baby. You could look it up.
So you think against the family's will?
Yeah,
right?
she wanted the baby.
They should have been forced to.
If she wanted to keep the baby alive, then yeah.
They should have been forced to keep. Do you know
Yeah,
how
if
much?
she wanted the baby to-
let me
yeah.
ask you this question. Do you know how much it costs to keep people on the medical services in order to be able to like sustain a brain dead individual? I'm pretty sure it's around $2,000 to $10,000 a day.
That wasn't at the cost of the family.
Yes, it
was
is.
the cost of the state.
Oh, okay. Can you give me evidence of that? Actually,
Yeah, it was the state's decision. The reason why they did it is because the heartbeat.
can you give me evidence that like the state paid for it?
Why would the family have to pay for it?
Because it's private medical bills.
It's literally up to the state. So the family was fighting.
Wait.
The state to
Wait,
like
please
not let this happen.
give me any evidence the state paid for it.
The fact that the state is who the body belongs to the state at that point, right?
No,
it wasn't up to the family anymore.
Body belongs to the. You think under your view, right? The individual that is dead belongs to the state.
This is like a logical entitlement. Like it's not hard to entail that the state had to pay for it.
Wait, but you have no evidence the state paid for it. Can you
What
give
are
me
you
evidence?
saying? If it was up to the state to keep the person alive, why
I'm
would
asking
why
you.
would the family have to bear the cost?
Can you provide me any evidence that
Parker, why would the family have to bear the cost?
I'm asking you a question. Can you provide me any evidence?
Like, are you serious? This is a serious question.
Yes.
I mean, actually,
Wait,
I think it's quite possible that the family would bear the cost. Like, think about it. If you drive on like the interstate, like you are legally required to have insurance at your own cost. Just
Okay,
like
well-
if this brain dead patient was pregnant, like they'd be legally required to keep her alive until the pregnancy comes to fruition at their own cost. Like, I think that's incredibly possible.
I haven't seen that in any news article. Parker, you're arguing the affirmative that the family did have to pay for it, so I need you to provide proof of that.
I asked you specifically for
No,
evidence.
you said you made the claim first. I
and
made
you
the
still
claim,
and you still
and I
have yet.
contended with- I
Wait,
contested with the
are
claim.
you agreeing with me that you need evidence for claims to be true?
No, no. What?
No. So
You-
then
okay,
why
you made the
are you
claim.
asking
You
me?
made the
So then
affirmative
here's
claim.
my question: Why are you asking me for evidence?
You made the affirmative claim.
What obligation would the family?
Wait, you made an
have?
affirmative claim.
What
I
moral,
asked
No,
you
I
for
contested
evidence.
your claim. I contested your claim and say it wasn't
Tide,
true.
what moral obligation would the family have to keep the?
So are you gonna provide any proof of that, Parker, or are you just gonna like skip over that?
Wait, are you gonna provide any proof? I'll provide it if you provide it.
But that doesn't make any sense. If you're providing proof of my claim not being true, why would I have to provide any proof? I would just have to admit that you're right. So I want it. The burden is on you. You have the burden right now because you made the affirmative claim.
I got you. I'll find.
While he's looking
Okay.
for that, let me ask you a question. What moral obligation would exist to keep the fetus alive?
Moral obligation.
Yeah, because like,
just think
typically
we
you'd
have-
say it's like the woman that, like under the pro-life view, you're saying that the woman has an obligation to sustain the life of the fetus because it's dependent upon her resources, and she put it in that state of dependency by like consenting to engaging in intercourse. However, like that person is gone. Okay, they're brain dead. So what obligation exists to whom?
Oh, in that case, if the woman, like I said earlier, if the woman wants to keep the baby, I think they should respect her wishes. And it was said that she wanted the baby. She did want the baby. She was aware that she was pregnant. She didn't want an abortion.
Okay, so given that she didn't want the fetus, want the baby, do you think that the state should be able to legally mandate the family to keep them alive?
To keep it alive. I mean, if it's to save another life, I mean, why not?
Okay, so it's not actually about a desire that the mother had before brain death to keep it alive. So then what obligation would exist?
It
to
would
keep
because
alive?
you were continuing with that, huh?
So then what obligation would exist to keep the fetus alive, and whom would the obligation apply to?
Oh, I just think it's a human life that has structural organization.
Okay,
That's
so,
what we care
so
about.
if you just think that we have an obligation to keep humans alive regardless of all else, do you think that
I never said that.
Do you
I
think
didn't
that
say
rape victims have an
regardless of all
obligation
else.
to maintain pregnancy?
I have an NPR article right here. It says her family deserved the right to have a decision-making power about her medical decisions. Simpson said in a statement, instead, they have endured over 90 days of re-traumatization, expensive medical costs, and the cruelty of being unable to resolve and move forward toward healing. So that's specifically from an NPR article. Do you want to hear the title for it? Hospital tells family brain-dead Georgia woman must carry fetus due to abortion ban.
Okay, and you're saying that the family doesn't bear the cost of life support.
Yes, I just gave you an article indicating that.
I
Okay,
think
then.
that after
Okay,
you-
then I can say okay. That's then you're right about that.
It's awesome that you can.
But that's not going to move me. That's not going to make me say that.
Do you think that
it's-
rape victims have an obligation to maintain pregnancy, or should they be able to access abortion?
No.
Okay. So okay, fucking hell. Okay.
Dude, he thinks that they should be forced to go through all of the costs. Again, $2,000 to $10,000 a day. Do you know what the cost would be?
I mean,
the
if that's
family has to
save
pay
a human
hundreds
life,
of
yeah.
thousands of dollars in costs.
Well,
yeah, as a human life, why not? You wouldn't do that for your
Dude,
own child?
it's not even sentient. It's
So-
never going to be sentient if you get an abortion.
What do you mean it's not going to be sentient? It's at
I'm
20
saying at the point of not 8 weeks where the family had the choice.
Yeah, that was months ago, bro. That was months
Right,
ago.
and also even at this point now, there's still not a causal obligation from the family.
Hey, I'll actually be the first to admit it. If this guy's saying that he also doesn't think that rape victims should be able to access abortion, your logic is totally consistent. Okay, but let's
Wait,
point
he
out the
just said that?
problems with it. Yeah,
I didn't say that.
Oh.
No,
Oh, so So should rape victims be able to access abortion?
Yeah, I mean, they're not responsible for the state of, for the being in a state of dependency. No, I don't think.
Perfect. Because
Okay,
no
well, wouldn't
obligation
that same
exists.
thing be the family?
Yeah, no obligation exists. Yeah. Now let me ask you a question. What obligation would exist to whom to maintain the state of dependency that the fetus is in?
The obligation is the person who's bearing the child, whoever.
But that person's gone.
Yeah, the person's dead.
Okay, then it's
So the
up to
obligation ceases to exist.
Okay, then it would be it would be
Oh,
society who it
he's
would be up
caught.
to. No, it's not. It's not. I'm
Wait,
not
but
caught.
wouldn't
I'm
there
just-
also be the societal obligation for a rape victim then? No. So then
Wait,
why
what are
is
you
there for the
talking
brain dead patient? To keep the
No,
fetus alive.
Okay, the brain dead.
Wait, oh
patient
my God,
isn't-
are you saying that like?
Wait, why
okay,
you? Why can I respond? The
Wait,
brain
no.
dead patient isn't bearing any responsibility because she's gone.
Yes,
Are
precisely.
you saying any individual that's brain dead? Are you saying that we should be able to like take their organs without consent?
Well, how does that follow?
Well, because it's for the benefit of society.
No.
Wait,
No.
okay.
No.
Why not?
I mean, you're just expecting somebody's afterlife.
Isn't that the same thing that you're referencing here? You're saying for the benefit of society, should do something against the consent.
No, I'm saying to save a life. Like we're talking about saving a life here.
But like that would also exist for a rape victim, and you said they should have the right to access abortion.
yeah, because they didn't partake in the action
Because
that
they don't have an obligation
Same
as
with
they
the
didn't
family.
consent. But now the only difference with a brain dead patient is no obligation exists because the mother died, not because nobody consented. So there you go. No obligation exists in either
No,
circumstances.
okay,
in order to
why would-
maintain
why would the
logical
family have an
consistency,
obligation? No, it does.
you'd have
Bro,
to
okay,
argue
look.
that either both rape victims and this brain dead patient
no,
should be able to
you're
terminate
already
the pregnancy, or
presupposing what
neither
my
of them.
response is going to be. Stop doing that. Stop being in bad faith. It's okay. It's okay to argue in good faith. Look,
I'll argue in good
look.
faith.
The woman who is now brain dead doesn't bear any responsibility because she's unable to exercise any responsibility. It's gonna be some sort of duty of society to make sure that baby is now gonna be kept alive.
So then why doesn't this
Just
duty
like
for
just
for
like if
society
a, just like
exist
if
for
a
rape
baby
victims?
just like if a
Wait.
baby falls into a pool.
Ty,
Wait,
Ty,
let me
just like if
I
a
have a
baby
perfect
falls
thing to
into a
clarify with
pool.
him. I have
Hold
a
on,
perfect-
wait. Just like if a baby falls into a pool, you have the moral responsibility of making sure it doesn't drown, right? So that's the same.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. So, like in terms of this, right? You would say that there isn't a personal obligation of the family members, correct? There's just a societal obligation.
Yeah, societal obligation.
Okay, so if there's not a personal obligation, so if the cost is going to be incurred on the individuals within the family, you're saying they didn't have an obligation.
Well, that's just law. That's just a construct of law.
Well,
I mean, I
because
don't
the
know what to do
law
about
is that way, you're saying that they don't have the obligation. Because again, they don't have the personal obligation. There's just a societal obligation.
Of bearing
Say
the
we're not
cost.
fulfilling
I
the
don't
societal
think-
obligation. That's on society. That's not on the individuals in the family. So the individuals in the family,
No, it's not on
right,
them, no.
again, under your view, have no obligation to sustain the pregnancy. Therefore, you are against the law that exists that says they should be required by law to be forced to go through
I would say they're-
to like pay for all of these types of things through the context of the pregnancy.
I would say they shouldn't they aren't allowed to like unplug the woman. They can't make the decision of making sure that the baby isn't going to be kept alive. So I would say like by that they do have some sort of responsibility of making sure they don't take an action that is going to result in the unalivement of the baby. That's my point. I'm not saying they should bear the cost. I think the cost should be of the state because they're the ones who are fighting against them or whatever. But I'm not saying they should bear the cost. I never said that, but I'm still saying that I don't think they should unplug the woman.
Okay. So again, you're not understanding is that like you're saying that they shouldn't have the you're saying they should essentially now you're arguing they should have the personal obligation, even though they didn't cause it. So you're saying that there's an obligation
I'm not
even
saying
though
they
they
have
didn't
an
cause
obligation to not kill, to like not unplug the woman or have the that's what I'm saying.
it. How true is this, Dean? Is the baby? Someone said the baby was brain dead as well. I haven't seen that because it said that they were trying to protect the life.
Well,
or
if the
something.
baby is if the baby is brain dead, that means the pregnancy isn't viable.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how it's able to gestate while staying alive.
Yeah. So that's I see a few people saying that, but I don't. The baby has fluid in the brain. Can someone let me know where they saw that so I can find that? And so I can show that to other people in the live. Timmy, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Timmy. I really appreciate it. Reagan, thank you for the $5 as well. Thank you.
Well, aside from that, you guys need to stop running from debates. Like, that's really cringe.
I got chocolate all over myself now. Where the fuck? I'm like a small child. Who are we running from? What?
Oh, who are you running from? I mean, you make fun of Charlie Kirk all the time for running away. Yeah, you won't debate people like Andrew Wilson. You won't debate Myron Gaines. And you won't debate Destiny. All three of these people have called you out, and you won't debate them.
So
Why
I
is
offered
that?
to debate Andrew Wilson online. He just won't debate me online. He'll only debate me in person. His excuse is he thinks I cheat in debates. So arguably,
I remember that.
Yeah, like arguably, like I'm not running. From
He has
debate.
come up on your panel multiple times.
He's come up. No, you're talking about Parker. He's come up on Parker's
Yeah.
panel once. But I'm not running from Andrew Wilson because I said I'd debate him online whenever. He doesn't want to because he thinks I
He
cheat.
does. He literally does.
Also, by the way, we
I'm-
had a day specifically to debate him on whatever, and they literally canceled day off.
Okay.
You mean like 2 years ago?
Wait.
2 years ago?
No.
Wait, Tide. Then in that
Wait, hold on.
circumstance, there's no running.
Parker,
because
actually,
I'm saying
Andrew
that
Wilson-
I debate Andrew Wilson on live whenever, and he's invited to come whenever, and apparently he will come whenever. So who's running?
Andrew Wilson offered to fly you out, Parker, didn't he?
He wanted me to pay like $750 as a deposit. No, he didn't offer to fly me
That's
out.
the
He
industry
offered.
standard.
He said
What are
he
you
said
talking
he
about?
would fly out to debate, and that I would have to pay him a deposit if he were to fly out. No, I'm not paying
Why are you
him
being
any
dishonest?
deposit.
He said he would pay you back double. That's an industry.
What?
That's an
I'm not.
industry.
I'm not paying him any money in the first place.
Yeah,
Bro, that's an industry thing. Like,
wait.
No,
how
it's
can-
not.
how can you say
No
this
one
is-
in the no one else in the industry has asked me to do that. Not a single
but
person.
Also, doesn't
'Cause
matter.
you haven't gone on people's shows.
But also doesn't matter because this
Who?
isn't suggesting. One moment, this doesn't matter because what this
And
suggests.
what about Myron Gaines
Hey,
then?
Tide, listen to me. This doesn't matter because what this shows is that Parker doesn't have a preference against debating Andrew Wilson. He just simply has a preference against paying to debate Andrew Wilson, even if Andrew Wilson.
Okay,
would
and
pay
Andrew
back
Wilson
double.
also
Hey,
offered
Tide,
to
stop
debate him
interrupting
on-
me! Stop interrupting me! Stop it, please. Just stop interrupting me. Allow me to finish speaking before you start speaking. Like I've been getting interrupted all day. It's so fucking annoying. Just hold on, okay? So because this demonstrates a preference against something other than a debate, you can't like accuse Parker of running. And like for instance, like Parker, would you debate Andrew Wilson on live any day, whenever?
Yeah, he's a complete
Me too.
NPC.
Me too. Like we'd both debate Andrew Wilson just online. Like for instance, for me specifically, I just didn't want to have to fly somewhere to debate him. I think that's fair. Once again, demonstrating a preference against something other than a debate. All right, and for that reason, you can't say like I'm dodging or running away.
You might not be, but Parker is because Andrew Wilson already offered to debate Parker online, and guess what Parker said?
He thinks I need to pay Andrew Wilson.
No, that's not true. He said online he would do it. And Parker, you said that you aren't interested in debating him one-on-one because you want to debate Brian too.
No. Okay, so I actually do want to
said that
debate,
on Twitter.
I do want to debate Brian, but it is the case that I don't want to pay to debate Andrew.
And then also, what you're saying, I also don't think this would imply.
Parker,
that
he
Parker's
literally
scared.
said you could debate him online. That means you don't have to pay.
Tide, I also do think that this
No.
demonstrates. I don't think that this demonstrates that Parker's scared because like Parker's request isn't to make things easier on him. If anything, it's to make things harder, right? Because he's basically saying, Andrew, I will debate you, given that I'm also debating this other guy. So he's basically saying,
exactly,
like Andrew, I'll debate you under conditions in which will make it more difficult for me to win the debate. Okay, like obviously, I don't think that we could classify that as Parker running away or being scared.
You're not listening to what I'm saying, bro. I literally just said he would debate him online. He offered to debate.
well, like
So
Parker
then
just confirmed that he would debate
I'll
him
provide
online, too.
something right now. How about this? Me versus Brian and Andrew. Andrew can be online.
Look,
and
why you
I'll
say-
debate Brian in person at the whatever podcast studio.
Okay, so that's what. Okay, so you have to hold to that. You gotta have to hold to that. You
I would
can't
do
back
that.
out.
I would do that because I don't want to. I'm not paying for shit.
And then you also said Myron Gaines, right?
Yeah, Myron Gaines. You offered to debate that guy, and then you backed out. Why
Yeah,
you keep running?
That is true. So I backed out of my debate with Myron Gaines because I don't think that he's a debater. There's actually like one specific thing that occurred that led me to do that. I was a part of this Twitter space that was having like somewhat like productive conversation. It was a little messy, but it was like somewhat productive. And then like Myron Gaines joined, and he spent the next 30 minutes calling like the woman Trump supporter in the panel a bunch of like incredibly rude names, calling the Indian Trump supporter on the panel like derogatory terms and slurs A through Z, and then even turned around and did the same exact thing to like the black individuals on the panel. he wasn't even like engaging like with any of the content of the discussion. He wasn't even there for a discussion about the content that was being provided. He literally just went up there to like demean the woman, demean the man from India, and demean all of the black people. And I think that what that demonstrated to me is that he's not a debater. He's more so just like a really like morally abhorrent, quote unquote, entertainer to his base of Nazis. And
Dean,
that's
that is
really
actually a cop out. That's a cop out because Myron Gaines have been on Tim Pool multiple times. He's had good faith discussions multiple times on Tim
if I
Pool.
didn't,
He's
if I
debated.
didn't truly believe this, then I wouldn't be running. Like I want to classify.
Okay,
it. Like
well,
like for
okay,
instance, like
well-
I've debated Ben Shapiro. I don't think that there's a single person on the right that's better at debating than Ben Shapiro. I've talked to the quote unquote God Charlie Kirk. I've debated even like people in those alt-right communities like Nick Fuentes. You know, like if I didn't truly believe what I was saying, like I'd debate him, thereby making it not a cop-out. Like I think that you just assume like the worst possible intentions to like create a narrative that I'm somehow scared. If I was scared, I wouldn't have had those conversations with those individuals. And if I was scared, I wouldn't run a platform where I publicly invite anybody and everybody to come up here on an account that identifies them or a purely anonymous one. Like think about
Where
it.
you're the moderator, where you can mute people anytime you want.
Have I muted
and
you
just,
in this
like,
entire
steamroll them.
conversation?
Not me.
Have I
but you've
steamrolled
done
you
to
this
other
entire?
people.
Have I steamrolled you this entire conversation?
You tried to cut me off multiple times, but look, like I said, you can easily just go on your computer, look up Myron Gaines debate on Tim Pool. He's had good debates before. You can't just sit here and pretend like he hasn't been in debates before. Like you challenge this guy to a debate, you know what he's about. So don't use that as a cop out, bro. Like it makes you look bad. Like you only want to go after the people who
Makes me
debate
look bad to
college
who?
students.
Makes me look bad to who?
To everyone outside of your freaking bubble. Like, look, everyone knows you as a runner.
But the bubble that's being defined here isn't merely people on the left. It's not merely people in leftist circles. I'd also say it would include like moderates, and then like maybe even like some people on the right. I think the only people that this quote unquote bubble excludes are like the people that can listen to Myron seriously spending 30 minutes in what is supposed to be a political debate, doing nothing but demeaning people because of their gender, their sex,
It's
their
a Twitter space,
nationality,
bro.
or
Nobody cares
their,
about
or
Twitter
their race.
spaces.
Exactly, it's people that don't care.
Ty,
Right?
Ty,
How many?
Ty,
It's
it's
like,
Twitter
it's the people
space.
that
It's
don't
Twitter
care that it
space.
looks bad to. Why should I care about my optics to people that don't care about that
It's
specific
a Twitter
thing?
space, bro. That's different. It's a different
Ty,
environment.
do you like Myron?
No, I just think he's a skilled debater. But
You think he's a skilled debater? What in what?
he's skilled at debating feminism and
Really?
foreign policy.
Wait, run
Israel.
one of his
Give me
arguments.
one debate where you think he looks good, and give me one
On
of his
Tim Pool,
arguments.
go look on Tim Pool. U.S.
Give me
foreign
one of his
policy.
arguments.
It's about Zionism.
Go ahead.
I can't. I'm not gonna repeat his argument.
Can you give me one of his arguments?
The whole point I'm saying
you
is
brought
that
up
he
you brought
debates.
up you said something about feminism, and then you pivoted to Zionism.
Yeah, but he can do both. He can debate both feminism and Zion in
Okay,
like geopolitics.
give me a single
And he also
argument.
debates
Why would
border control.
why would we debate Ben Shapiro but not Myron fucking Gaines?
Yeah, of course you're gonna debate the guy who has 7 million followers on like YouTube and stuff. But you're running from Myron Gaines because you know that he's talented. Like you, okay, look,
So do you
even
think?
before that space,
So I just want to clarify that in order for what you're saying to
bro.
be true,
See, like, look, you're steamrolling me because you keep fucking interrupting
Wait, I
me.
said 5 words. Just one moment. And I just want to clarify. In order for what you're saying to be true, it means that Dean Withers must think that Myron Gaines is a better debater than Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, Nick Fuentes, right?
You have even had one-on-one debates with these people.
Yes, I have. All three.
No, you've done like these quick, snappy, like Jubilee debates. That doesn't freaking count.
Wait, does it demonstrate that I had a willingness to have a debate with him?
I don't think so. No.
Wait, so me debating somebody doesn't demonstrate that I have a willingness to debate.
I don't
them.
think
that's
you're
a strict
willing to-
contradiction.
I don't think you're willing to have a 2-hour sit down with Ben Shapiro. He'll absolutely. obliterate you.
I asked them for that.
Yeah, now you're just being this is what you have to convince the viewers of that you can't convince the viewers of because it's false. You have to say that I didn't have a willingness to debate the 3 people I did debate, or you have to say that Myron Gaines is a worse debater than them, thereby conceding your point.
Even if he was a worse debater, hold on. Even if I say that he was a worse debater, he's still a better debater than you are. So I don't know why.
Wait. But my point is, even if that's true, which it's false, but I'm saying from your perspective, let's assume it's true that he's a better debater than me, but worse than Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, and Nick Fuentes. Why would I be willing to debate Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, and Nick Fuentes, but not Myron Gaines?
None of these people you've had actual sit downs with. Like you can't flesh out ideas and arguments in just 3 minutes.
I had a 2-hour debate.
So then, do you agree Charlie Kirk's running?
What I like to clarify, I had a 2-hour debate with specifically with Nick Fuentes,
and guess what? You never did.
And then both.
Guess what? You never had a 2-hour sit down.
And then both with because I cooked his ass. Fried him. Absolutely, it was terrible for him.
You got harassed on social media like for months. They were making fun of you. For
Yeah, they
months.
harassed me for months because of how badly I
Yeah,
cooked their daddy.
Nazis.
Yeah, the Nazis came after me for months because of how badly I cooked them. It was terrible for him. He like, dude,
No,
I,
they were
like,
clipping
grilled
things.
him.
They were clipping you, like clipping embarrassing clips of. Anyway.
No,
Okay,
I mean, admit it.
Nazis. So listen. Nazis were mad at Dean because he shit on like their cult leader.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was really bad for him.
No, I think he came out better. Like he got more popular after that.
Wait, to clarify, you think Nick Fuentes beat Dean in the debate?
I think.
So, what are you know who
Name a
Nick
point.
Fuentes is, right?
I don't think I'm not gonna say he won, but
Yeah, because
Okay, so you
I think
agree that Nick
rhetorically-
Fuentes lost,
I think
right?
rhetorically Dean lost. Rhetorically, that's what.
So you think Dean lost the debate against Nick Fuentes?
Rhetorically,
On what point?
almost everyone.
Name
Almost
one.
every single
specific point.
very
Name one
specific.
specific point.
Probably. I don't know. I'll have to watch it.
Guess what? I can
don't
name
really
name
remember.
a point that he definitely didn't win on.
What?
I debated him about Trump's tariffs before Trump was president. I spent an hour convincing him that he was wrong in his belief that he wasn't going to impose blanket tariffs. Guess what? He was wrong.
Okay, Dean. I think you. Okay, you know
ended up
what?
getting
Fine. You can say you
Trump.
won. You can say you won the debate. I don't really care about
Yo,
that.
Christian.
I just think,
Wait, then
I
how
just
can
find
you?
it funny.
Wait, how can
No,
you
I
say?
just find it funny.
Wait.
Bro.
How can you say? No. Sorry. How can you say that he won rhetorically when he ended up saying that if God commanded him to rape and kill a baby, he'd do it?
Oh, that was bad. I mean, I'm not going to defend that.
Or
I don't-
him
I'm not gonna
saying that,
defend him.
or him saying that Hitler would be a better leader than any woman.
Yeah. How can you say he won rhetorically? What the hell? See, you're just a rage baiter,
Bro, the poll in the chat literally had.
Wait, Ty,
literally him.
do you
Look
agree
in
with the
chat.
statement? Do you agree with the statement that Hitler would be a better leader than your mother?
No.
Do you think someone who
the
says
majority of
wait, no,
people-
to clarify,
Listen.
do you think someone who says that could ever beat Dean in a debate?
Yeah. Do you see how it's like
I'm
objectively
not-
insane to say
I mean,
anything
that-
other
there was
than
a, there was
guy
a
got
variety
killed?
of topics. You could say he lost on that topic, but I'm just saying.
What's the topic you won on? I'm waiting.
The whole chat were saying that you lost, bro. So
Oh
I
yeah,
can't- I
so
don't
so a
understand
bunch
why
of
you
like
say you
so a
won.
bunch of like 12-year-old red pillars
In
say I
Aiden
lost
Ross's
therefore I
chat.
did. Great. I had a bunch of 12-year-old
Aiden
red
Ross.
pillars saying that I lost
What do you think
therefore
your
I did.
audience is? You don't
Holy
think your
fucking
audience is
shit.
full?
Also, if I can't convince the 12-year-old red pillars that I'm smarter than the Nazi, dude, I'm never gonna win. I'm never gonna win.
Right. Okay. So why won't you debate Destiny?
Debate Destiny on what?
Destiny wants to debate you on your socio-political views. He challenged you publicly. Didn't you see it?
Didn't he ask about like a
Both you and
conversation?
Parker.
I saw that.
Both you and
clip.
Parker. Okay, so you saw it. So why don't you debate him?
So I have contentions with like certain facts that would make it very uncomfortable for me to go on a stream. But like
what are those
I-
facts?
I see no point to engage in that conversation with Destiny.
It's kind of funny, like,
I
because both of you guys.
I don't think that's productive.
Hold on, both of you guys sat down and had dinner with him, but yeah, you don't want to have a debate with him.
And it's when we had the dinner
No,
that I like kind of separated.
Like realize
So-
that he's not good.
Yeah, so back
Both of
when
you guys
we were
looked
kinda
up to him,
newer in
and now
the
you don't want to
space-
debate him. That's kind of funny.
Whoa. The fact that we sat down with a dinner of him didn't mean that we looked up for him. Looked up to him. The reason, like, I personally got dinner with him, and probably same with Parker, was because we were scoping the space out, and we wanted to better understand and acknowledge the characters of the creators in this space when they're not in front of a crowd. And I think that was an incredibly good
No, you're a
decision to
fan.
make.
You're a fan.
How are you gonna assume my
Bruh.
intentions when I'm describing my
He
intentions?
said
to
himself
you?
that you guys told him that you were fans.
That's actually not true. He never said that.
Oh, so he's lying about you guys being fans.
He never said that.
He did say that.
No, he
I can
didn't.
pull up the clip if you want me to.
Absolutely, no, he didn't.
Oh, you want me to pull up the clip then?
Also, like in the past, I could acknowledge that like I've watched people. Right, that's not me saying that like I'm a fan or anything like that. That's like me saying
He
that
said
like, I've
both
watched.
you guys are fans and were inspired by him.
No, saying that.
Oh, like
we have
inspired in
watched-
debates?
Yeah, like saying that we have watched him in the past and that it's inspired us in terms of debates isn't saying that like we're a fan.
Oh yeah, like
Right.
early
you gonna pretend that you aren't fans
early debate
because-
com years back. Both
Yeah.
Hassan and Destiny
Yeah.
inspired me a shit ton to get into.
Yeah,
debates.
like I've watched all of the debates of the YouTubers like back in the day. I never got like super involved or engaged in these communities, but I definitely watched them.
Parker,
Like,
you were
that
on
was-
a panel with Destiny, actually.
That was in the past and a long time ago. Yeah.
I don't know why you pretend like you weren't cool with Destiny. You were definitely a fan.
No, I wasn't cool with it. We disagreed on a point, and I had no communication with him. What are you talking about?
I'm saying that you liked him.
I was
as a
I was
person.
on
You
I
liked
was
him
on
as
a, I was
creator.
on a panel on the Hippie Dippy podcast 2-3 years ago because I went on Jubilee, and it was a panel with a bunch of different people, a bunch of different creators. That's like the only time I engaged in like an online YouTube type of debate type thing.
Yeah, you can say that, but you're definitely a fan. I mean, you like to pretend in front
See,
of your audience like you don't care about.
You're just assuming a 10. Look at that. Once again, like I
I
described.
mean, he said it himself.
I
That's him saying
described
himself.
to
Are
you.
you calling him a liar?
I described to you why I got dinner with a guy, and then you're like, oh no, you're just being dishonest. Yeah, dude, you just want to paint a narrative to be a dick. That's all. I'm being dead ass. Like I got dinner with Destiny because I wanted to better understand the characters of the other creators in this space. Not when they're
we're gonna
online,
believe
but
that.
also
Say it
in
enough
person.
times, we're gonna believe it.
Exactly, bro. You're coming up here with negative intentions. Disprove it.
I
bud.
mean, he said himself that you guys.
This fucking prove it, bud.
Oh, you want the clip? You want the clip?
What clip is going to disprove what I just said?
What Destiny said about you guys.
Okay, fine, play it.
I'm so confused. I'm
so
so confused.
Disprove that I got dinner with Destiny to better understand the character of individuals.
No, I want
in
to
the
prove.
space.
I'm proving that you guys were fans.
No. Disprove what I just said.
I'm gonna prove that you guys were fans.
Okay, so you're not
Is that
going to
okay?
disprove so you accept what I just said.
No, I don't know.
Okay, so
I mean,
then
no,
why don't
that
you
doesn't
accept
make any
it?
sense.
Why don't you accept it?
Because you're denying that you're a fan.
Wait, I literally said that I was inspired by both Destiny and Hasan when I started getting into
so
debates.
you're a fan, right? So you're a fan, right?
No, the claim that I was
not what a
inspired
fan
by
is.
both Destiny and Hasan when I first started getting into debates
So
is
you
not
weren't- so
equivalent
you're
to the
not a
claim
fan.
that I'm a fan of Destiny. Wait. Do you? I just want to clarify. Do you think the claim that I was inspired by both Destiny and Hasan when first getting into debates is equivalent to the claim that I'm therefore a fan of Destiny?
Yes, you were consuming their content.
So you do
like their
think that those
content.
two claims are equivalent?
Yeah, you were consuming his. That's what it entails. You were
Wait,
consuming
you're
his content,
consuming
you liked
our
his
content. You're consuming our content. You like our content. Are you
You-
fans?
I'm
of
not
us?
inspired by your content, am I?
Are you
Am I
wait,
inspired by you?
You
No.
can even be inspired by people you disagree with. You understand that, right? Like,
I've inspired Trump supporters
been-
to stop debating on TikTok Live. Are the Trump supporters that have started debating on TikTok Live that were inspired by the fact that there's some liberal that they hate doing it with a bigger audience? Are they fans of mine?
And also, like, you know that
That's
you know
not what inspired
positions
me.
and positions and beliefs change over time. You learn more about people over time. Like that's just like the reality of things. Like over years, you learn different things about people, and then given that new information, that you change your mind.
Yeah, Tide. Honestly,
Like I used to be like when I first started TikTok, I used to be a communist. I grew up in a conservative Christian household. I used to be a Trump supporter. I used to watch people on the internet like Charlie Kirk, like Ben Shapiro, right? Like Steven Crowder and all of those insane people that I disagree with now.
Okay, so you're just gonna. It's
wait,
okay.
Wait.
It's
I have
okay
a
because
question.
you want to pretend in front of your audience. I know
I got a
Destiny's a
question.
controversial.
I got a question. Is Hasan a fan of Destiny?
No.
Wait, why? Because they used to work together and were inspired by one another.
Yeah, he
forever.
used to be a fan, but now he's not.
Ah, thank you for the concession.
And did Hasan sit down with dinner with him last year?
Got it.
No, but you guys did.
Did Hasan sit down at dinner with Destiny to better understand and acknowledge his character before eventually separating himself from Destiny? He did more than just sit down at dinner, bud.
Yeah, they had a disagreement.
Great.
They had a
Thank
disagreement.
you so much for the concession.
At least because
Mr.
Hasan
Van.
is transparent about it, but you guys.
I
aren't.
appreciate
He's
you for
transparent
being a
about
fan of my
fan.
content. I've obviously inspired you enough to join the Q and Rage bait.
Do you want to like debate why you voted for Donald Trump, or
I've
are
already
you done with
debated.
that?
We've already gone over it. I've already won.
You've
Wait,
won
name
on
one
what
point you won on.
Already won on the case of the woman being pregnant. Like you guys are just bad at what you do. You guys keep ducking debaters. Andrew Wilson has called you out.
Wait, now
Brandon
he's
Gaines keep calling you out.
making
Destiny
now
has called you
arguing a
out.
point that doesn't
You've only
relate to
had
the thing you won
2
on.
hours sit down
So
with
what
it.
specific point about the case that we brought up did you win on, apparently?
Wait, then also, Ty, now you're being bad faith because earlier you literally admitted verbally and conceded that I'm not running from Andrew Wilson. Now you're saying I am. Which one is it?
Oh, I mean.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just-
look at that. Bad
I
faith.
said Parker. I said Park was.
No, you
winning.
said
I
you
don't know about
guys.
you. Okay, well, I'm saying.
Wait, does
generally,
guys
like, I'm
does
saying
guys
generally.
imply singular or plural?
So look, you just.
No,
being bad
answer my
faith.
question.
You're
Does guys imply singular
Look, you're
or
being
plural?
pedantic. I'm obviously when I say you guys. I'm just
Semantics
speaking
are
generally.
important. I'm quoting Mr. Andrew Wilson. I thought you were a big fan. Come on, you know that semantics
Wait,
are
when I
important.
say I
if
was
you
a
watch
fan of
him.
Andrew Wilson.
Well, you consumed his content, right?
Yeah, I consume his content. I'm not inspired by his content.
Yeah, you consume his
I
content.
don't
Come
share
on,
the same
come on, buddy.
ideology.
Come on, buddy. So, does guys imply singular or plural?
Plural.
Plural. So when you say you guys are running from Andrew Wilson talking to a group of 2 other people, what does that imply?
That implies that it would be both of you guys, but that's not what I was saying. I'm just saying. I'm speaking to you
I
because I know
literally
that
just
you.
quoted from you. I literally quoted you. I literally quoted you. That is not just what you said. That is precisely, exactly in quotations what you said.
Okay, it's all about what I meant. It's not about what I said. Anyways, like I said, I don't know.
Fucking hell, dude. Oh my god. The rage bait. The rage bait. Yeah. I mean, about Destiny specifically, I don't know if I'd be willing to go on his live stream. I was talking about this in my Discord. But what I did say to like a handful of the people in my Discord is, you know, like I'm willing to hear what he has to say, right? Like I disagree, and it's like likely after hearing I'll still disagree. But like, of course, I'm willing to hear what he has to say. I said that in my Discord, but like it's unlikely that I'd go on his stream, and I think he knows that. Anyways, Parker, want to raid?
Yeah, I'll go live. Alrighty. I will see everyone. Have a good night, Dean. Have a good night.
You as well, Parker. Thank you so much for hosting. What account are you going to go live on?
Parker Get a Real Job on TikTok and Parker Get a Job on YouTube.
Great. All right, y'all.
Do they not have a rating feature on YouTube?
No, I wish they did. All right, y'all. Before I hop off for the night, I'd like to thank VHER, see you, Parker, for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. I do really appreciate you so much for the love. As well as Arias with a 5, Nal with a 2, Burning with a 2, and M, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Sorry, on YouTube Super Chat saying please don't do this to us. No mullets. But I love the mullet. As well as Hitman with another 20 pounds. I do really appreciate you so much for the love. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. Let's see if there's anybody else. Oh, yes, there is Skylar. Thank you so much for the $50 over on PayPal. I do really appreciate you so much for the love, Skylar. Everybody, let's throw some love to Skylar down below. Say, my name is Skylar, and I'm an independent folk pop rock artist, and I was wondering if I could get a shout out for my music. Well, I didn't even include your music, Skylar. Well, I really appreciate you so much for the $50 over on PayPal. That is incredibly kind. If you'd like to follow that up with a message, link in something, I'll give you a listen. You got it. But for everyone on the TikTok, go shoot it right over to Parker at Parker Get a Real Job. And for everybody over on the YouTube at Parker Get a Job, I love you all so very much. Go shoot him a raid. I will see you all tomorrow, and have a good rest of y'all's Friday evening, everybody. Peace out. Bye, y'all.